or even 10 teams.
我觉得黑马队的性质就是对当前版本有自己的一套。
Misery, congratulations. How does it feel to take down the TI5 champs?
Holy shit, dude. That was a crazy ass game.
I always learn a lot watching these dark horses. Usually people just go to them and like, how did you make that happen?
How were you able to do that up against them?
And they always answer like, we don't know, and then they say something, but they actually know.
So, yeah, I don't know.
And what they say right after the we don't know is usually the key to the success they just had.
We kind of pulled some tricks in the draft that made them believe that a core hero was a core, when in fact it was a support.
独特的打法。
To the success they just had.
We kind of pulled some tricks in the draft that made them believe that a core hero was a core, when in fact it was a support all along.
DC went on like one of those crazy OG loser bracket win streaks. Once a team gets in the booth and they get used to the feeling of winning,
something very
kind of hard to
unique,
solve.
and they just roll these kind throughout the tournament. They have a flow going on. It's something very unique. And
像 CDC 这支队伍的话，我觉得他是历届所有就是 TI 系列赛中，我觉得是最大的一匹黑马，因为他们是从外卡赛杀进来的一支亚军队伍，并且这支队伍的5个人全是第一次打 TI。
They struggled in the wildcards. They did. They almost didn't make it.
We did play them even 1 month before TI, and you know we just beat the crap out of them. And then 1 month later, they go to the international and they beat the crap out of everyone else.
What a winter's curse from Q! Demolishes 2 more! I don't know how, but they did much. CDEC again and again with the upsets.
It just caught every team off guard. And I think that's just like a perfect definition of what a dark horse is.
I think every year there's been an underdog that has impressed me.
One of the really hard-working teams from the open qualifiers just seems to surprise everyone. So I don't know what team that'll be.
Dark horses just play a different kind of Dota too. They teach you a lesson. They teach you 2 lessons. It's very inspiring.
It's like a Cinderella story. And when you get those teams starting to beat ours, we showed everyone in the world that everyone can do it.
And as you heard us say before, all 16 teams still here at the tournament are all amazing in their own right. So it's entirely possible we could see another Dark Horse story here at TI7. And of course, the first upset of the day, IG defeating Team Liquid. We have Casey with our winners from IG. Let's go ahead and say hi to Casey and Q.
Hello. Yes, as you mentioned, we're with Q, and we have Jack helping us with the translation. We've been talking about coming into this main stage event. Liquid placed first in their group for group stage. You came in 4th in your group for group stage. They picked you to go up against. You came out with a decisive game 1 and then just took the series. What was your approach?
就是谈起这次主舞台的比赛，上半场当然是液体在小组赛是拿第1名，然后他们最终是选择与你们当对手，然后你们第1场之后第2场失利了，然后最后是把他们给打败了所以想问一下你们进入这场比赛的策略和总体的战术和计划是什么？
计划就是看他们之前打过的一些比赛。 然后分析一下他们所用的英雄和阵容，然后结合自己队伍的那种战术和那种使用的英雄，然后具体的去制定一些策略什么的。然后太细的也不太好说，因为之后还是有比赛的嘛。
Our plan was obviously to take a look at the strategies and plans that they'd used before, and then based on that, we devise our own heroes and lineups. And obviously, I can't share too many details with you because we still have matches to play going forward. But yeah, basically, we studied them very thoroughly, and we crafted our own plan and used that to take this one.
Fair enough. So decisive games for games 1 and 3. What happened in game 2, and what did you say to your team when you went backstage before entering in game 3 to change things around?
那么当然，第1场和第3场你们是发挥特别亮眼，也获胜了。第2场比赛你们算是失利了。那么第2场比赛之后，第3场之前，你是如何鼓舞你的队伍，或者跟他们说，队员要做一些什么样的调整？
就是其实就打第1场之前都说了，就是一个胜组的比赛，就算输了的话。 就还有败这种嘛，就是意思有2条命，大家都放松的打，就是每一盘过后都是新的一盘，我们都是这样说的，无论是第1盘赢了或者第2盘输了，所以我们心态都就是很放松。
I reminded them before the first match that no matter what happens, this is the upper bracket, so we have 2 lives. Just relax and play loose. Don't put the pressure on yourself. No matter what happens, whether win or lose, first or second game, we have more opportunities. So just stay relaxed no matter what, and we managed to keep that going forward.
Next up, you're going to be facing either EG or NewBee. You were captain of CDEC back in TI5 when you faced EG in the grand finals. I want to know what your thoughts are about the chance to face EG once again, and I don't know if it's a little bit of revenge or how you might be approaching that.
那么当然，下一轮对手有可能是 EG， 有可能是NewBee。要是 EG 的话，当然是你当年 TI5 的队长做队长时 CDEC 总决赛的对手。那么要是下一场要是面对 EG 的话，你们会觉得是有一个报仇的机会吗？
从队伍上面来看，就是每个对手都是一样的嘛。但是从我个人来看的话，我就是觉得会有这么一点心态在里面吧。毕竟就是这是一个竞技游戏嘛，所以我的那种竞技的心也是挺重的。
As far as teams go, you've got to treat all your opponents the same. But personally, yeah, there is a bit of that element here. Obviously, from my own personal perspective, there is a bit of that element. You want to compete, and you want to use that as kind of motivation and stoke the fires a little bit.
Awesome. Jack, thank you very much. Q, thanks for taking some time with us. Congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you play again this week. Thanks so much. Sean, back to you.
Thank you, Casey, and of course, thank you, Q. What an incredible first game, and of course, our second match is about to begin. It will be NewBee versus EG, and already ready to march out are the men who won TI5. It's Evil Geniuses. Zai is adorable, Merlini, but who's going to be the key players to look for in Evil Genius's lineup?
Sumail, maybe. I was admiring his name change. I think he was like complaining about it for a long time. It's like, it's Sumail without the one valve, and he was complaining about that for a while.
Of course, their big star players, Sumail, and going up against Evil Geniuses will be also former TI champions, NewBee. Now, NewBee was famous for their unbelievably swift win when they were able to pull off the victory in the early TI days. And I want to ask, what is NewBee's style like now?
I think they're one of the most different of the Chinese teams. I think they actually play a little bit more of a Western style with a heavy focus on their mid player, SCC. They really build around him and enable him to have the best game he can have.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when I was first getting into Dota, you know, there's names like Sumail and Miracle, and SCCC are these mid laners who are just absolutely dominant, who seem to get this insane amount of gold advantage early on. And I'm curious, how do you wind up building around that kind of player?
Well, I think you actually have a player that can take him one-on-one. I think it was very evident in TI5. There was no one in the mid lane from the Chinese team that could stand with them. Shiki got destroyed every single matchup, and the only one that was there was Maybe. And now you actually have a second player, SCCC, who solo kills them a few times, which is pretty much unheard of in that matchup, at least in the most recent memory.
Anaka, who are the big players that you're looking for on the NewBee lineup to make big plays in this matchup?
For me, I think Kaka is a very good player, and he's also one that I studied a lot when I wanted to play Phoenix. He was very famous for his Phoenix when it was out. So I really hope that they're going to bring out the Phoenix, even though I don't think they're going to do it. But
I'm curious if you can bring a little insight into when you're studying a player and trying to research and pick up moves. What are some of the things you identified as part of his gameplay?
Well, first of all, you want to find a player that's playing a hero when they like winning the games a lot. So you know that it's a good player, right?
That is a good quality
Yes.
to have in a hero selection. You don't want to choose the guy who's 0-15 with Phoenix.
It's like, yeah, he's pretty good, right? No,
Top
but
tier.
then it's this like skill builds, what is going, and then to understand when he's doing that skill build and why. Because otherwise you can just see, oh, he's doing this and then he's doing that. Maybe it's so it's a lot of like thought behind that, because like Phoenix can be built in a lot of ways. You can max all of the, well, maybe not the first skill, but it was like you can maybe choose to put 2 skills into it, and then you can put 1 into it, and you can focus on the Sunray and on the Fire Spirit.
Yeah.
So,
well, I feel like in terms of edges, there's a number of different ways to evaluate where a team is managing to find them. There's the idea of making really huge plays. There's the idea of having small efficiencies in terms of itemization and builds. Where do you feel like the edges are for each team?
Wow, I'm not quite sure. Maybe someone will help me out with that question.
It's all you. No one helping. You're on your own now,
I guess
Peter.
I just didn't understand what your question was. Can you rephrase it a little better for me?
What I mean is that, like, where are each of these teams going to be able to find their biggest strengths? Is it going to be in terms of just big playmaking? Is it this sort of like, you know, clever itemization and building that Ake's been referring to?
I don't know. EG's been playing like a pretty fluid drafting style where they oftentimes slot support heroes and they turn them into cores, or they turn the cores into supports at the end. So I think if NewBee has a good grasp of how EG is drafting, they might be able to keep up in terms of strategy. I know NewBee has been doing, they're like one of the teams that I compare to EG, so they've been doing similar things as well. So it'll be an interesting clash between how they set up their lanes.
what EG has been doing that I haven't seen so many other teams do is that they go for heavy push lineups. They have their Prophet on the off lane, they have the Visage carry, and they had Lycan in some of the games as well, like a lot of summons and just push the towers early. And it's something that have been working for them as well, but not other teams use it so much.
It's been really remarkable to see how fast they are at killing, especially tier 1 towers, where there will be a little bit of rotation from the enemy team, and suddenly, boom, there's 4 EG heroes all right there, all in perfect coordination, take the tower down. It feels like teams don't even have the opportunity to react.
I do feel like EG has how they want to play figured out, which I think is really, really important before you come to a major tournament like this, especially being in the winner's bracket. You just kind of want to stick with what got you there, and I think they're in a great position to do that.
Now, EG in the group stages did get third at 11-5, but NewBee got second with the same record of 11-5. The only person able to best NewBee in Group B was the outstanding LFY with their 14-2 record. And I'm wondering if there's any standout moments from you in that group stage phase for NewBee.
For NewBee?
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm trying to remember back maybe a game that I saw of theirs.
I can't think of any specifically. Then it's more, EG that's stood out for me with the Visage carry.
Yeah. I mean, EG is definitely, I don't want to keep coming back to EG, but gosh, their drafting was so interesting to watch in every single game. I mean, the fact that Earthshaker mid for Sumail was such a common pickup, and regularly after 3 or 4 picks, it seemed like I had no idea who was going to be who. Mirana could be Universe, Mirana could be Sumail. We saw Enchantress run on Zai, we saw Enchantress run on Universe.
The Batrider is also very often picked up by EG, like fast, maybe even first pick, and they actually put it on crit some of the times, which is also something we haven't seen many other teams do, to have it on support.
They have support Naga, they've had mid Pugna.
They like to pick 2 heroes like first that can be like both core and support, and that's very important, I think, for a team to be successful.
And do you think this is true for just specifically EG, or do you think this is sort of true across the entire pattern that we're seeing at TI?
I think more and more teams are doing it, but I think EG did it the most, I would say, in the first.
I think they had it figured out before they came here, and then a lot of other teams are learning and adapting to what EG is doing.
Do you feel like that's risky? I mean, Aki, you've been at a number of TIs. In terms of what you're preparing for going into the tournament versus what you're seeing evolve and bake out of the meta there, how do you weigh which one against each other? Because you don't want to give up what you've already planned for.
Usually, you like really don't want to copy other teams because they probably know it better than you do. So the best plan would probably be to keep on doing what you've been doing, but maybe adjust it a bit according to what the other.
I think the best thing you can do is really analyze an opposing team and learn why they do what they do, and then you know, say like, oh, EG's doing this because they're, you know, it's allowing them to win games through X and Y ways, and then say, how are we going to combat that style of play in order to win ourselves?
Yeah, I mean, what are some examples of that that maybe you've experienced in your competitive history where you're looking at a team, you're seeing a pattern, and you don't upend your strategy, but you shift it slightly?
It's a tough question. I think that EG is oftentimes, very much sticking to a formula for their drafts. And when they step outside that comfort zone, I think that's where they've struggled throughout the group stage. Having 2 initiators, having Universe and Zai both playing heroes that go blink and have stuns and disables, I think has gone really well for them. And when they don't have that, they've been able to put Universe on like a Mirana or a Furion, which allows that right-click DPS damage, and then Sumail will play a Puck or an Earthshaker mid to make up for that lack of control that they lose.
We've seen both of these teams very interested in picking up Lycan regularly. In terms of this draft, obviously only one team can manage to snatch that pick. Is this going to be a sort of critical key pick for one team to grab early?
I think it's higher priority for EG. I think that's a hero that Arteezy really, really likes right now, and it's a hero he's
always with it.
He's always been good at it. It's been one of his best heroes over the years, and when your best heroes are popular in the current meta, that's what
feels good.
Yeah,
feels really nice.
That's how you know you're doing good.
I think a hero that's more priority is Puck, because I think both teams play Puck, and both teams have multiple heroes that play Puck. I think like 4 or 5 of the heroes, or 4 or 5 of the players out of 10 play Puck. You usually don't actually see that. Usually Puck's just straight banned.
Yeah, Puck was banned in the BO3 all 3 games, and I would expect maybe similar things here. I think Nyx will probably see a little bit more priority.
Yeah, I'm really curious, because we've been talking about teams and their personalities and heroes that are fitting the specific players, but in terms of just the heroes, Nyx Assassin obviously has been a huge pick and a huge ban throughout here. We haven't even seen him yet today. How does that factor into this sort of matchup? Is it the sort of thing that players you'd expect them to just continue to stick to the same format they've been doing?
I don't think that last BO3 is going to have any impact on this upcoming BO3. I don't think they were watching those games and learning really anything from it. I think they probably had their plans figured out last night, hopefully, and have come in today.
In theory?
Yeah, in theory, they came in today with a game plan and a strategy that they're going to stick to.
Nyx is also a hero that had been played a lot before, so if it actually goes through from the banning phase, the teams are going to know how to counter it and play with it.
The teams are definitely aware of Nyx's presence, and they will be prepared for it.
I think the mid players are a lot different in this matchup than the last matchup. We saw Lone Druid last time, and Alchemist. Nyx isn't particularly good versus either of these heroes, where I think the pool of mid heroes that we'll see in this game is going to be much different.
Talk to me about those pools. Who are you expecting to see in mid lane?
Puck, if it's not banned, surely. Maybe a lot more Queen of Pain. I think SCC and Sumail both play a lot of Queen of Pain, even some Storm Spirit. Just these more flashy heroes that take a lot more farm, and the team doesn't revolve around them as much. Alchemist is the hero all 9 heroes in the game are focusing on.
It's a total gravity well. Everything gets bent around the fact that there's an Alchemist in the game.
Mm-hmm. That's a hero that EG is abysmal against. They just always lose against Alchemist. And I've seen SCC play it. He was one of the Alchemist players. And NewBee's had a good year overall. They've been consistent. I'm a big fan of KPII in the offlane. I know he's got this great personality, and he's just a real dedicated winner. And NewBee had kind of a disappointing TI last year, at least in terms of what they were expecting of themselves. And KPI decided to stick it out for a whole another year, and here he is again in the winner bracket.
Yeah, how much does just turmoil throughout the year come into impact when you're here? Is it just you're totally dialed in and just happy to be part of it? Or is it that big feeling of you have to prove yourself and there's too much pressure?
I think people are really committed to this tournament, and they don't really think about what's after. You think about what's right now, and once you're eliminated, that's when you kind of start figuring out what's happening for next year.
And as we've spoken before, that it doesn't really matter what you've done before. It doesn't matter if you won TI the last year or 2 years ago. You want to win again. If you won TI, you want to be the first one who wins TI twice. If you won majors, you still want to win TI. So
yeah. Now, I just got a brief update. There is going to be a quick repair on one of the headphones, and I just got a second update. It's fixed. Look at that. How's that for efficiency? The game 1 will be starting in about 20 seconds time, and I'm unbelievably excited for this match because NewBee and EG are 2 names in Dota that have stood the test of time. Every single event, they keep showing up again and again, and it's time to see who will come out on top.
Evil Geniuses versus NewBee. Game 1.
I'm so happy we don't have to talk about the possibilities of what's going to happen in the draft. We just get to look at the draft.
It's the best part.
That is the best part.
It's probably my favorite part.
Yeah, it's really great. It's like, you know, it's like watching the new episode of your favorite TV show.
Some people aren't a fan of drafts, but I like it. I get to analyze teams and try and figure out what they're thinking.
Look at this. First pick right out the gate. It's Marana.
Watch out for that Universe Void coming right around the corner.
These bans are a bit different from the last game, for sure.
Early Sand King. We have Puck Shaker bans from NewBee and then Nyx Lich from EG. Wisp still in the pool. A hero EG loves, and they also don't really mind playing against too much. They've let it through with the first pick a couple times this tournament.
Marana, of course, a notable pickup based on exactly what you were saying earlier, that EG likes to pick two characters that could be very flexible in terms of where their position is going to be.
Sean, you got to call them heroes, man.
Hmm?
You're giving me a panic attack when you call them characters.
So sorry.
Might as well just call them champions at this point.
I've actually never played this game, PPD.
Well, they're heroes, so now you know.
Naga Siren.
Naga Siren, the anti-team fight hero.
Which fits perfectly against the Sand King and Disruptor.
Nice sleep into Arrow. Players are very talented. They can definitely land that combination 100% of the time, I'd say.
Has there been very much carry Naga at group stages?
Nope.
I think Enemy.
One game.
Yeah, but that's a C9 thing.
Pick. Disruptor, big playmaker.
Do you think Naga Siren is still good even when there's not Faceless Void picked? I think most of the time I saw it was. Versus Void.
It was, yeah, I've seen it a lot versus Void, and I've seen EG comboed a couple times with Disruptor as well, which was, you know, not. Yeah, they're worried about the push. Alchemist definitely banned. Smart thinking on EG's part.
Yeah, you said they really struggled a lot against Alchemist.
They just, whatever, that hero is just their Achilles heel. The hero's fallen in and out of favor by most teams, and they've just always consistently lost to it. So, ban it. It's a good decision.
So, of course, looking at the NewBee lineup, Disruptor, I mean, some of the key combinations that we've seen, the Disruptor Earthshaker combo has been very common at this tournament, but not a possibility anymore.
Lots of disable, lots of team fight. It's very hard to split push and run away from a Disruptor. Your best bet is to go into the enemy team. So, EG might want to pick up a little bit more team fight to bolster their lineup.
And in terms of that team fight, are you thinking someone like a Faceless Void?
Void's okay. I would really like somebody that can build a BKB from their side. Venomancer.
Venomancer.
Okay.
Awesome. I have no clue how to think of Venomancer in a lineup. Ake, hit me with it.
Well, he can be both support and he can be on the lane. He can be mid and safe lane.
Visage, right? For RTZ here?
They could. I think Venomancer is usually safe lane now because he can bully out an offlaner very, very easily. So they might go for that.
Summons. Summons have been Venomancer's bane. So Furion, Broodmother, Visage. Those are my favorite three right now. What do you think, Ben?
All sounds pretty good. Think about if Naga Siren is going to just be like a medic this game. I think like a Scepter pipe. I don't know. I haven't seen the Scepter too much, but I think it could be pretty good versus lineup.
You know, Marlene, we talked a little bit about, you know, Marana having a lot of possibilities and how she can be played. How do you think she'll wind up fitting into the EG lineup?
Likely core. I don't know. They don't really have any setup for her right now.
I think so too, that it's a core, and especially now when they pick Kunkka. But, I mean, they could still go Naga, carry, right, Peter?
They could. I would be
your favorite.
I'd be very disappointed.
Probably not. Sai has been playing the Naga before, so.
You don't want to see hour-long games?
I just want to see EG win. You know, I'm a very biased caster up here, trying to, you know, my best interest.
No problem. Got no shame. Wear it proudly.
All's well. Bleed blue. We got a lot of EG fans here today, I think. I can hear them from out here.
All right.
Impressive stuff in there, guys.
Well, hey, now it's my turn to pander. Any NewBee fans in the audience?
Less.
Good job.
They're
Good job.
China shows up for this tournament.
Ooh, Abaddon is mostly against Mirana, I think, to remove the arrow.
Now, was this one of the heroes that had not been yet picked?
I believe so.
Yeah, I believe it was. Oh, no, he had been picked. It was Bane, Spectre, Tiny, and Wraith King. Abaddon, though, one of the most unpicked heroes in all of TI.
Abaddon's one of my favorite heroes. I like seeing him get played.
And it really fits the lineup. They have the Kunkka as well for X Torrent into arrow, so they have a lot of arrow setups. So Abaddon really fits NewBee.
There's the Furion, so that's Universe Furion, Sumail Marana, probably Zai Naga, Crit Kunkka, last pick Arteezy hero. Getting some summons for that Venomancer that we talked about. I like that a lot.
Could be the Visage then, because they ban a Drow.
Yeah, Drow banned. They could still do the Visage. I'm still a fan.
So in terms of looking at the lineups right now, how would you evaluate NewBee as a team?
Lots of team fight and a pretty decent amount of catch with Sand King and Disruptor.
Fairly weak anti-push, and they need some ramp-up time too.
Yeah, definitely want to get some ultimates. They're a bit weak to BKBs, but EG's cores aren't.
They're not very, yeah.
And now the final pick for Evil Geniuses is Timbersaw.
Oh,
looks like a good OD game. I like OD here.
Now
versus Summons, which he's weak versus.
This is what I'm talking about, where I look at this lineup and it just takes me a minute to figure out who the hell is playing who.
I think, well, we'll see what NewBee decides to go mid. That'll definitely decide who takes the Timbersaw. It's going to be Sumail and Arteezy on the Timbersaw and Marana. And if NewBee picks a melee hero for mid, then I imagine Sumail will take that Timbersaw to the mid lane.
So, Aka, again, I'd want to ask the same question. How do you evaluate Evil Geniuses' team lineup as a whole? What are their strengths?
I think with the Prophet, they want to take towers early, and I think Timbersaw can work with that as well, because he's very strong earlier with his reactive armor. But they don't have as much push as they've had the other games when I watched them play with the Prophet, so we're going to see how that works out. They usually have, as people say, like Visage or some other hero as well.
Outworld Devourer.
The dream OD game.
I like that OD.
Yeah.
It's
Sumail's Marana and Arteezy on Timbersaw.
There it is. Yep. Ranged hero mid.
Wow, what an interesting lineup for this very first game between EG and NewBee. Casters, take it away.
Thank you very much, Day 9. And indeed, Evil Geniuses versus NewBee here on day 1 of TI7. We couldn't have asked for anything more, could we, Fog? This is going to be incredible.
I'm super excited. I was hoping that we'd get some like EG NewBee type of matchup in these type of upper bracket, because these two teams actually match up super well versus each other. Very similar kind of play styles. We'll see how it plays out coming in.
And the picks as well, as the panel said, something a little different. Arteezy on the Timbersaw, but what seems to be a very strong finisher from NewBee. They seem to love it. Do you like this as well? XCCC getting the OD.
I love the OD pick here. It's super good to disrupt the combos, very good for the pure damage versus Timbersaw as well, and one of his most comfortable heroes. So definitely looking strong for XCCC, which we've been saying on the panel. He is the one to focus on for the NewBee team.
I mean, as Ben was saying, you know, at the start of that section, coming into this, it's hard for teams to have a mid that's going to be able to stand toe-to-toe with Sumail. But XCCC on the OD. Sumail, of course, on the Marana, as Peter kind of talked about, maybe EG shuffling things around just to try and get the favorable matchups. Is this a lane there where Sumail can still, you know, kind of flaunt himself and get the edge against XCCC?
Yeah, he should be able to do fine. And I'm assuming that we're going to have like Zai chilling around the mid area too, so he's going to put the extra pressure around. So I think Sumail will be just fine in that matchup. It's probably slightly OD favored, but Marana has the scaling factor where you get like the double Wraith, and you know, your attack animation isn't the greatest, but you can at least do that when you have a secondary Naga there.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen, getting ourselves into game 1 of this best of 3 series in the upper bracket. And my, oh my, what a game this has the potential to set up to be as we go through the lineup of NewBee. Faith, of course, supporting up on the Disruptor. And Arteezy building Pipe of Insight, taking a page out of Eternal Envy's book there, XCCC. On the mid, Mugi, the carry Venomancer. Something that Evil Geniuses himself, of course, will know quite well. You know, we've seen in the past, was it back at Epicenter, pretty much every game Arteezy played.
Yeah,
Venomancer.
I talked to Jack.
So he's going to know how to deal with it.
Yeah, I talked to Jack a little bit before this game actually happened, and he was letting me know. He's like, yeah, NewBee, of course, they highly respect EG, but not only that, they've looked at them in the past, and they've actually taken a couple strategies, a couple heroes from them, and tried them out. So this shows it right away with this kind of draft. So the OD is really cool here, not just for, of course, like the save mechanic as we were talking about with the Astral, but the Essence Aura can put a big factor in with the Abaddon push with the Venomancer. You're going to have like that infinite mana sustain kind of going on. We have an early smoke coming out, it looks like NewBee. They're trying to get deep and aggressive onto that first bounty rune.
So they can get this as, at the moment, obviously, up in EG's own jungle, only Arteezy all by his lonesome. So NewBee definitely have the chance to catch him if he does come too close to this top bounty.
We've got a double, both teams actually smoked up and went for the opposing bounty rune. So we've some dodging action, it looks like, happening.
Yeah, EG having the chance of getting this connection, in fact, onto the Abaddon. They are going to spot each other out, and we'll see if they try and make a go. KP trying to man up. Between these three, quite hard to bring down the Abaddon. And he will be put up by the Torrent, and in fact, he's just got the one level in the Aphotic Shield. I don't know if it's going to be enough there already. EG chasing down KP, and that will be... No! Tries to salve up, not quite enough. Universe takes the first blood.
Don't believe he got the Stout Shield blocked there. He was hoping for it, of course, but yeah, nice play coming out. Beautiful Torrent. KP tried to juke it, but unable to do so.
Yeah, great start for Universe, of course, down on that bottom lane. It's going to be paired up at the moment with Naga Siren, and indeed, as you mentioned, looks like EG are going to have the focus of two towards mid, try and keep SCCC on his toes in this matchup against Sumail's Mirana.
So we didn't get to touch too much on it either. EG is running the dual melee supports, which we've been seeing kind of rise a bit more now, but this time around it's strange, right? Like when they've had the Naga, they've been tending to have like that Disruptor, as the panel was mentioning. This time though, getting the Kunkka, having that big AoE kind of team fight and catch, which they were lacking. I'm pretty sure that's just why they wanted having that catch, which they were lacking.
Bottom lane again, Zai looking for the body blocks on KP. They will be able to burn through the first shield. But again, this dual lane, not a lane that I'm too used to seeing really. You know, Nature's Prophet and Naga Siren, but it seems to be doing pretty well at the moment against this solo lane KP Abaddon.
Arteezy is making his journey. He has walked from the top lane all the way down to bottom. He has now arrived. So he is going to be versus that Abaddon, and they're both just about level 1. So they're going to be able to trade right clicks with each other, and Universe is making the adjustment. They want to have that Timber versus Abaddon matchup.
With that in mind, as KP sees it, we'll see if they themselves want to make any sort of adjustment. At mid lane, though, and it's going to be the ball into the setup. They're not going to follow through on it, just looking for harassment onto Sumail. Didn't quite have the Burrow Strike back up.
They stacked the Burrow and the Astral there, actually, by accident. They could have put a little more harass. Not a kill, but slight little miscommunication coming out between the two of them. Bounty runes being exchanged.
As we can see, this bottom lane matchup, Arteezy, as you say, on this Timber Sword, being able to heavily nuke down the Abaddon. KP only sitting on 1 CS at the moment in this bottom lane. He has not had a fun opening because of the pressure and the matchups that EG have managed to find against him on this bottom lane. Elsewhere, of course, things looking quite nice for NewBee. You have this Venomancer, and at the moment, Mugi pretty much free farm up on this top lane. Not a lot that EG can do to slow him down. He's nearly level 3. He's got the backup of his supports. It's a scary lane. Universe and Zai have to be very careful. Especially with Kaka coming in, getting the 2-man Burrow Strike from Invis. Universe he's going for the TP out, but he's not going to quite make it. That'll be one. Zai will just get himself away. Mid lane, Sumail and Crit at the same time, going in with the harassment. But as we're seeing, this top lane tri-lane, I mean, granted, the Sand King did have an Invis, but there's definitely kill potential here for NewBee. Oh, hey, Universe! He just finds himself a freebie. KP in the jungle. I don't know if he was trying to deny himself there. It was only to the small neutrals, but it didn't work out, and Universe was ready to go.
Yeah, picking up those phase boots when he TP'd back. This is scary for KP, because now he doesn't really have a good place to go. Bottom lane is impossible for him to actually stand toe-to-toe with the Timber Saw. He can get some trade farm, but he can't harass him, really. Like, in the nature of the matchup, if it's a direct 1v1, Abaddon versus Timber right at the start, Abaddon can deal with it, because you get your passive and you're able to right-click and harass. But now the Timber Saw has an advantage, which makes it super difficult for a melee strength hero.
Yeah, absolutely. Every other lane, you know, top and middle, looking to go fairly even for the time being. But yeah, that bottom lane, really a struggle for KP and NewBee. But perhaps that's the plan. Maybe they felt that always, you know, the Abaddon's lane in this draft, it was always going to be tough. He was always going to be in the lane that was going to be sacked by the team, and NewBee themselves will look to try and make up for it elsewhere on the map. I mean, he's still getting the levels, really. And as we've seen, he has died a couple of times, but you know, once he's sort of the level 4 point, he's got an extra point in the Aphotic Shield, he should feel a little safer.
Yeah, just a bit safer for sure. He's always able to shield off the Whirling Death debuff, so he can't get 2 of them stacked up on himself, but Arteezy is diving under.
They've got a lot of diving potential. Is he going to go down again? He does get the deny off with the mist coil. But the pressure really being put up for KP on this bottom lane. EG are not a fan.
Yeah, that secondary point in the Whirling Death. If anytime you go near the tree line, you get hit by that pure damage and the stat reduction. But yeah, he can shield it off, but it's still, yeah, that nature of the matchup is too hard when the Timbersaw is giving an advantage. He's got to still keep TPing down there, though, so he still has to be getting that experience. His job in this game, he has to be a bit farmed, so he has to watch
He had to be careful there. Came a little too close for the CS, and now there's the setup with the Astral Imprisonment coming in with the Burrow Strike. Faith there as well to join in the party. We'll get the value CS on the way down with the arrow, but that will be Sumail taken out. Same time, though, up top, they realize that Mugi, he's left alone, and Evil Geniuses, as soon as they see an opportunity on top, they try and go, but Mugi, he's just a little too big. Tangos it up, walks away. As NewBee certainly making the favorable trade there. Evil Genius is trying to make something happen as soon as they realize both supports are moved mid, but they couldn't quite get that Venom.
It's always the scary thing about laning versus that OD. Even though the the CS is relatively close, the OD of course pulls ahead with some denies because you're Astral on the enemy and you get 3 last hits under it, but it's the threat. You Astral, you have to be very careful from those rotations coming in from Sanking Disruptor. And NewBee really needs to make sure that they do get those successful ganks because they're running an aggro tri-lane. So when you run this, your supports sometimes get under-leveled. You have to make sure to distribute your experience resources properly so you don't get behind.
Look at this mid lane again, so much attention being put. Universe trying to see if he can find the position to TP in. He's playing around with it.
Kaka's there, he's set up in
He
the
is
back.
prepared to turn if Universe does commit. And Universe will actually turn his attention up towards the top lane where, for the time being, he's hanging around there with the Naga Siren.
So we've actually got, it's 5 minutes, first catapult wave. KP actually pulls the lane bottom. So now Arteezy's got a full wave and a catapult going under the tower.
KP has to be so careful.
They're going to push this tower here.
He can easily dive this tower, especially with the help of Universe. KP, they're going to be in trouble again. The shield's taken down. They will sprout him up, trying to get Arteezy in position to get the burst damage through, but as it is,
the right clicks are adding up.
Right clicks, he's just doing it here. KP, he's going to be going down again. The same time, though, in the mid lane, NewBee, again with that tri-lane play, bringing in the 2 supports do get Sumail.
Nice rotations from both teams. Universe recognizing that catapult bottom. The catapult actually dies though, so KP actually pulling them away from there lets the catapult go down and alleviates a lot of tower damage that would be coming out. But EG definitely communicating on all fronts. Arteezy's probably like, hey Universe, catapult wave coming down, we can dive this, and they do it perfectly.
For sure. I mean, we can see in the mid lane now, Crit is back there. It really feels like they need to put more into trying to protect Sumail. Just having some sort of torrent for counter players, as we've seen NewBee get away with this Astral Imprisonment setup twice. Bottom lane, Arteezy will take the tower. KP and Kaka in the neighborhood, but of course Arteezy not feeling too scared at all now. He's level 6, he can pick up the arcane boots from the side shop, and he is top of the net worth.
Nice little surge of gold for their team. Top lane Mugi's been contesting this tri/quad stack that it was for a while with his Blade Wars. Actually claimed him in the majority of it, so a bit of a win coming there for him. Zai though now contesting it as well, and I mean Zai's doing incredibly well on the levels. Almost arcane boots, almost level 6 on Naga. Gonna be very relevant in the next upcoming fights with that sleep for the setup.
Bottom lane KP, I mean he's back here trying to get what he can against Arteezy, but he has to be so careful at this point where he's still yet to hit 6 himself.
NewBee wants to use this catapult top that they still have. They smoke up, they're trying to put the pressure on Universe and that safe lane tower. They should be able to with their timing as well, but EG seems to know something's up. They're making the rotation with Zai and with Crit.
You have the 2 points in Glimpse on Faith, so have very good catch potential. Depends how deep they want to go. Indeed, in fact,
he's trapped.
Oh no! He's just going to set up for the kill there with the illusion block, trapping the Disruptor in. They'll see if they can play around for more. Torrent will connect onto Kaka. Oh, we saw just there the support Naga with the block, the Riptide and the illusions, just absolutely shred to pieces that Disruptor.
They really wanted to go for that dive. They really wanted to get that tower. Match that aggression from EG toward bottom. So 2,000 gold lead right now going for EG, making slightly the better move so far. And they're actually the ones who are able to pressure towers a little bit better with that Nature's Prophet. Universe showing up to all those threats. With the drum now finished up, phase drum 8 minutes. Pretty darn good.
Yeah, very good timing there for Universe. Same as well, sort of the build's going to be this game from Mugi. Looks like he's eyeing up the, okay, treads into the 4 stuff. Just so he has that extra maneuverability, because there is a lot of catch and chase down from EG with the X marks and such, but the same certainly to be said by NewBee.
4 steps are very important in this game too, because they already have the combo from EG, the land the arrows. Of course, there's the Abaddon Shield to remove them, but making them further away like that. Arteezy bottom looks like they're making the move for him.
He's got to get out of there. SCCC and Faith both looking for him. They will get the glimpse back, but oh!
The Timber Chain all the way across.
And he goes for the TP out. Arteezy, the 10K madman, gets away.
That
what
was
a
sick.
cute little play there from the boy. Top lane, Mugi as well. He says I can TP out, but no! Zai's there.
And the arrow.
The arrow's in. EG, take down Mugi.
They have detection, says Crit.
Destroy the barracks, then get back. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, Sumail. There's still tier 1s to take down.
But that's impressive there. This is all because of how efficient Zai's being with his movements. He's level 6 pre-10 minutes, so that means without the tome, if he wasn't 6 there, that kill was not happening.
Arteezy looking for the hood build next and such.
Definitely.
Almost then, certainly going back for the Bloodstone afterwards.
Yeah, the hood versus like Sand King, Venomancer,
yeah.
Disruptor is just way too much magical damage.
Let's see if they can get a catch up top. Does have the backup. Here we go with the glimpse back. But look, the X to
X-play.
Sweet little play. Very, very strong to have the Kunkka against this Disruptor.
Something we've talked about in the past, but this time around it was a little bit forgotten about how powerful that X can be versus Disruptor.
Absolutely, totally destroys.
Play.
Yeah, what NewBee is trying to do then. And you know every time that they go for that glimpse play, there's going to be numerous heroes there. So essentially, you know, a large amount of time wasted for NewBee and SCCC, who was in the neighborhood looking to get involved in the kill.
SCCC is like the big person they have to play around for the kills now. Venomancer, not really the greatest at going for these kills with everybody else now because of how much escape EG really does have. The Timbersaw, the Mirana, both very hard to kill heroes if they don't have that damage or that lockdown. Now they do have Disruptor 6 on NewBee, so they can respond with that Static Storm, but now EG making the move, looking for KP.
KP is level 7 now, of course, so with the Max Athletic Shield and the Borrowed Time, he is quite a tricky target.
That's not a great place either. There's
go for
tower, but now with Arteezy coming in and KP overextending a bit.
With him coming out this far, they definitely should have potential to bring him down twice. Here's the first setup from Crip, brings him back into the Torrent. Borrowed Time out straight away. KP, he has got backup on the way. Faith TP's in, Athletic Shield's out again. KP should be fine. Now it's Evil Geniuses that have to be careful. Faith with the glimpse back onto Crit, SCCC in the neighborhood as well, trying to chase this down. Can he quite close the gap for the Astral? There's going to be the Torrent to create the space, and in fact, EG jump back in. The Starstorm for Sumail. They take down KP, and they may even get more out of this as well. They walk out the Static Storm, and Evil Geniuses just turn around.
They had everything going for them there. NewBee in a place where it was a awkward location to fight. Arteezy able to delay it long enough for the backup to arrive. Universe with the Wrath of Nature, more than enough damage coming through.
And NewBee there really did feel that they had the chance to turn it. And to be fair, it did look like they did. But as you say, Evil Geniuses just turning up as a team, taking the fight, taking a tier 2 here on the bottom lane. 12 minutes
12 minutes in the tier 2. That gives them so many access points now into the NewBee jungle. And it makes it a bit awkward now. NewBee had to like park somebody bottom all the time to be able to deal with that push, because now Nature's Prophet has an avenue to be able to start chipping at that high tier 3 tower.
We'll see it again. And pretty much what the call here is made to turn as soon as Arteezy gets massive amounts of damage onto KP after the Borrowed Time wears off. And as soon as you see the OD astraling himself as NewBee, you know the fight's over. Yep. He's stuck in the midst of it all. No way of getting SCCC out. And a very, very painful fight then. A little smile from Zai. It comes out just for the moment. Back to work, he says, as he gets back into the game. But 8 for 3, 5k gold lead at the moment for Evil Geniuses at this very early stage of the game.
Super good opener coming out for them, opening and laning phase. Kaka now trying to find that Blink Dagger. I think if they try to make those gank attempts happen from now on, they want to have the Sand King there for that hard lockdown. Because other than that, they don't really have anything. It's just the kinetic field with the Static Storm. So they really have to be playing around the Sand King and the OD if they want to make those plays. But very difficult when EG just playing a little bit faster, just making the moves happen. And during this, Zai's just been parked up in the top lane for quite a while. Level 7, working on mech, almost halfway there. It's going to make their timing for their push very nice. Maybe Arteezy will go for the Bloodstone and then into a pipe so that they can threaten that high ground eventually.
Definitely, as you mentioned earlier, the importance of these 4 stars for NewBee. Mugi and SCCC going straight for them. Relatively close to having them as well, and then at least there is that little bit of potential extra save to reposition their teammates.
KP finishes up his Midas, so that you know, the little bit of desperation Midas trying to catch up after that hard start that he did have. So very deep wards coming out from EG, since they know they already claimed the tier 2. They can now watch a lot of the early movements out of the base coming out from NewBee, so they will actually know. If NewBee does not smoke, they'll know a lot of where those rotations are happening.
See who is the next to move. I mean, at the moment, both teams seemingly content with continuing to just farm up, making sure that all lanes are covered.
They want to make a move on top. Sumail making the rotation. So I was trying to get a net, but Kaka backs up and gets a little bit safer now. Rotation's coming out, though. Crit draws the line. He wants to get a deep ward so that they can start another deep ward on the left side of the map. Because right now, a lot of EG's vision is all on the right side, so they don't really have a lot of information on that left side. So, and he does put one down.
Yeah, as we can see though as well for NewBee, the vision game very nice in the sense that Mugi consistently keeps this area just scattered with plague wards. So any sort of movement like that is going to be impossible from Evil Geniuses unless they come in with the smoke.
EG very content. They're very happy with the way this pace is going. They're just farming. They're farming more, and they're also able to threaten towers, which NewBee's not. Does NewBee have Blink on Sand King yet? They are 400 short, so defending this tier 1 is going to be very difficult.
Don't even get the deny there as EG take the tower, looking for the torrent, but in fact, the sleep will mean that the torrent doesn't connect. Nonetheless, they want to go in for more. Here comes the boat straight away. SCCC will get the dodge off with the
Oh, the static storm!
And now the turnaround, 3 a trap. Massive ult from Mugi. Evil Geniuses, they have to get out somehow. Zai trying to run under the cover of the Moonlight Shadow from Sumail, but it's not enough. Zai's down. They're going to lose both of them. Zai and Sumail falling as NewBee come in perfectly with that turnaround. A great angle for Kaka to come in on the Sand King, hitting that burrow strike, setting up for a perfect combination from Faith.
That was, yeah, absolutely perfect. 3-man Static Storm on the exact heroes that he wanted to get. NewBee now able to actually turn it around a bit.
Absolutely.
EG with a little bit of miscoordination, but also that quick Astral coming out from SCCC. The boat combo with the sleep is very hard to pull off versus these heroes with those defense mechanics.
Yeah, we'll see it again here. I mean, the initial kind of to play with the torrent and the sleep messes up, but obviously EG feel they've got enough skills elsewhere to still go for it. But as you said, this timing, bam, just in time, and Kaka walks through. They just did. Yep. They did not have eyes on the Sand King. They let him go to work, and then all the ults come out. Epicenter, everything. Everything comes out from NewBee. I mean, I feel EG were lucky to only have lost 2 there. That could have got a lot messier, the way that turned around.
Trying to continue their aggression here down onto SCCC, but unable to connect the torrent. He's got his Force Staff out already, so we'll have that save. So SCCC building toward that BKB. It's going to be very helpful toward EG's lineup since they're like 90% magic damage. However, we haven't seen the Miranas build toward that physical damage in the recent months. Going for like the Manta, the Diffusal Blades, something along those lines, and that's what Sumail does have queued up. Universe going for that Orchid, very good versus both the Abaddon and versus OD. OD, a hero that suffers a lot versus silences. Of course, Abaddon can shield it off if it's on him, so more than likely it'll be on the Abaddon in most of those engagements, so to not allow him to save people.
Look at this, NewBee smoking up, trying to make a play, maybe to catch EG off guard, as EG may not expect this, as they know that NewBee expended the majority of their big ultimates in that last fight. And Zai, indeed, he's wandering dangerously close to them here. We'll see if they can get the catch, and it looks like they should, with Kaka jumping in with the Burrow Strike, Static Storm, to make sure there's no chance of a song or any sort of return play, as NewBee get a clean pick-off indeed.
Zai with the B right back. Recognizes. So, yeah, NewBee making some very good reactionary plays, working with what they've got on the map so far. They haven't gotten to, they only got to claim 1 tower and almost a secondary one, but playing very defensive, very reactive to EG's movements.
Mugi continuing to farm up very nicely on the top lane. I mean, we can see at the moment, in terms of the individual hero's net worth, it's only KP that's behind, and granted, as you mentioned, 30 minutes in, getting that Midas, he's going to start to close that gap if this game continues at this pace. So across the board, really, everyone in a very kind of equal position. There's a slight lead for Evil Geniuses, but now only being 2,000, it's really tailed off. It was a lot worse earlier on in the game, but ever since that turnaround mid and that pick-offs like as we saw onto Zai, NewBee recovering their position, and it's looking to be a close one coming out at the end of this early stage.
Yeah, EG now being a bit scared because they know that Sand King Blink Dagger is up. The threat of the big team fight is there. That's what the panel was talking about with the draft. NewBee has a very team fight oriented draft, while EG, they do have team fight, but they want to be able to reset and re-engage with that sleep at all times. So now NewBee able to pressure toward that top tower. They're going to get a lot of map control from this, getting the access points into the EG jungle. EG's not spending too much time in there though, but yeah, you see the lines already drawn out from Martese. He's like, there's going to be people around here. Zai already making the move up there, sending some illusions to push out the wave.
As the mech done now for Zai, so Evil Geniuses definitely a potential to group up and look to take these fights.
I wonder what KP's going to buy on the Abaddon. He's banking up gold, thinking maybe we might see that Radiance, right?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Used to see. Yeah.
I would not be surprised.
He went for the experience, gained talent too, since he went to the Midas, so he's going to surge up and up that net worth and experience, of course.
I'm going to see if Evil Genius can get the catcher, but already NewBee aware to the happenings. SCCC is already out.
They might get Moogie though.
Not going to quite get the initial X, and all that force out will mean he's out of range. Moogie getting himself out. Zai's continuing to chase, see if he can find anything, but now with Kaka in the neighborhood, impossible for UG to go for Moogie anymore. So nice escape there from NewBee after sort of, as you say, taking the tier 1 and starting to clean out EG's jungle.
This lull period for EG is actually very threatening because now it's OD. The OD is almost going to have a BKB finished up, and that's going to completely counter all of EG's threats that they have out on the table. So he's going to be super scary. The only thing they can really do is net him and kite him or sprout him, but of course he has the 4-step to kind of deal with that already. So that's probably what NewBee's waiting for next. To get that BKB online, then they can make a smoke play and get on the aggressive side. Because I mean, they should be feeling quite comfortable with how much they've gotten, how much time they've gotten, how much of the map has opened up after that mid lane fight. I mean, KP's just been, KP's chilling. He's just been farming for a while. 3,000. He's on his way.
He really is. You know, as I said, he's going to be up there soon with the rest of them, and yeah, he's less than 1,000 really behind Sumail and such on the Mirana. And talking about Sumail, how is he doing on his next item? So Manta
building Manta.
Yeah, just a few hundred away. So yeah, very close to having that one done.
Crit gets spotted out in the jungle. There's no way to stun him or lock him down though, so able to TP away.
I mean, do you think this is an issue if you're Evil Geniuses and you are letting this sort of time pass where suddenly this Abaddon is going to pop out of the jungle and have a Radiance complete at this pace?
It's definitely scary, yeah. They're acquiring, you know, they're farming all over the place too. They're not, it's not like they're falling super far behind the map, but it's the fact that this OD now has BKB and NewBee actually has such a scary group up. They don't have great objective takers, but if they can group up and just straight team fight, and if they win through that Song of the Siren, that's where it's going to be big wins for them. We now do see the Song coming out. They are on the prowl for some NewBee heroes.
See if they can get Moogie. Moogie, he is going to head up to the high ground, very dangerously close to them. Sumail has the DD as well. There's the X-Mark setup. Can he get himself out of this one? Well, Universe and the silence there. There's no way he gets out. Tries to shove himself away, but the damage is too much. EG will claim the kill.
SCCC is walking right up on Crit right now.
He's trying to find some avenging shots him. He gets it, jukes out the Shard. And the damage coming in brings Sumail incredibly low. Zai has to Song to make sure there's no chance of a Sanities or so turning around. They try and go for the arrow tiling, but it's off. Evil Geniuses, they mess up Zai. That mech play does keep him alive, but they turn for the bigger kill. Arteezy's turned up into a bit of a static storm.
They do not want to fight into this OD right now. 72 in stolen at this point. This is scary.
And Zai did end up ticking down as well. 3 gone. And now NewBee start to get the push on, and it's exactly as you said. As soon as that BKB's out on the OD, SCCC, he can do what he wants in the fight.
Did you see him? He just ran into 4 heroes. He did not care at all. Kaka was farming jungle as well, and he's just like, nah, I don't need you.
72 intel stolen as well. He didn't even have to drop the ultimate.
Did we actually see where Kaka's epicenter was?
I'm not sure.
I see it's on cooldown, and I didn't really see him in the area, so I don't know what happened there. But SCCC definitely just walking up, no fear whatsoever. And yeah, look at this instacked up. 72, if they're able to take a fight, it's probably going to be out by the time they will.
Yeah. If only it was level 25. Unfortunately, SCCC, even he cannot achieve that 23 minutes in.
Hey, we're talking about level 25. Of course, it's a long way away, but NewBee has some super threatening ones, be it the OD with plus duration and, of course, the Abaddon, which we've talked about is the strongest level 25 talent.
And that Radiance, yeah, it's about a minute away at this pace.
Wow.
As he is so close to having that recipe done.
This is a scary point for
yes,
now.
I think it really is. Bottom lane, Crit. He's going to hold back Kaka. Universe is there as well, but he has to be careful. I mean, Universe is playing with this, but he also knows. He'll Shadow Blade him back off.
Kaka just blinks in aggressively. He knows.
They do have 4 of them here on NewBee, but it looks like EG will be fine as they hide in the trees, TP themselves out of there. 9 for 9 at the moment. Zai looking to get that Greaves complete. 500 gold away, and the recipe will be out. And Faith going straight for the Aghanims this game on the Disruptor.
Long ways away.
For sure.
His will probably not come, but it's like naturally through team fights, maybe we'll see him get a couple big kills. And that can be a way to actually deal with if the BKBs and such items come out for EG. They can just do the Astral combo into the Static Storm, one of the very strong combos we've seen in the past. Even though it's only isolates one target, but it can be used very effectively.
There we have it. Yeah, KP with this radius. I mean, KP, he has kept his composure and recovered absolutely amazing. We saw in that bottom lane, he was not having fun. Consistently getting dove upon. NewBee just absolutely leaving him alone. And this is why, because they felt that they could sort of hold the game off, get to this position, and you could not tell that this Abaddon had a tough opening. Phase Radiance, 24 minutes in, you're fine with that.
Yeah, he's had a lot of freedom. He's literally been jungling for quite a long time now. Hasn't been needed to get involved into the engagements. After that mid-tier 1 fight, it's pretty much been all NewBee on the up and up. Yeah, the experience as well is going at 6,000 for NewBee, and the gold is just about 2,000.
Yeah,
so
just being
momentum.
that little bit more efficient in comparison to Evil Geniuses across the map, whilst there's this passive state of gameplay.
And they're building for late game. They're building for that kind of tri-core scaling, because Mugi built a Maelstrom, and he's going to go for the BKB next. So he definitely wants to still be a damage-dealing force versus the Timbersaw, versus the Mirana, getting this extra, the magic damage that comes through the Maelstrom.
I mean, it's great there. It's great against, of course, the Nug's Illusion, the Treants from the Nature's Prophet.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect time to burn it. As you say, yeah, the speed that he's got it is fantastic. Top of the network, Mugi.
They'll all be damage dealers. It's going to be an OD dealing damage, a Venomancer dealing high amounts of damage amongst his ultimate, which is already one of the higher ones, of course, and then Radiance Abaddon.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You look at EG's lineup, if you can control the Timber, sort of move out of the way of side spells, who's coming in with the punch? I mean, it's going to take still a bit of time, really, before Sumail's got that much of a right click. He needs to have at least the Diffusal Blade done, and he's still working towards that.
And sometimes we see versus those BKBs, what's good is those instant disables, which EG does not have in this type of game. They don't have a Blink Echo Slam. They don't have a Blink Sanking Stun.
With this Moonlight, though, they will have eyes onto Kaka. He's actually just going to duke it out. They can't quite catch him. Now he jumps forward, looking to block them off, and that's going to allow Triple C to come in. They will Song, but that's going to mess up the boat combo.
They got Sumail glimpse back already.
And they've got the kill with that one. That's the big one. Sumail down for 55, and EG, I mean, it feels like they're getting sort of the jitters here on this main stage. They're making all these plays, but they're not very coherent, and NewBee, they're keeping it cool.
For sure, Kaka did there. Dodging 2 spells and getting a nice burrow strike. It doesn't hit anybody, but survives and they get Sumail. That's all that matters there. And Song's on cooldown now for 100 seconds. NewBee had to expend nothing. They don't have the greatest Roche lineup, but they have the team fight around the Roche, so they might just be able to go in there and force EG to do something about it. EG used everything there. All of their ultimates were expended.
I mean, they probably hope that EG knows about this. This is just them dominating the game and saying, come and fight us, because they know that there's no way that EG can in the state that they're in. This is absolutely going to be a free Roshan for NewBee as they pick up the Aegis, and this is the point now where with the items and the power that NewBee have amassed, they can start thinking about trying to push down tier 2s and maybe even getting up to the high ground.
And the Roche isn't even that slow, because the Curse of Avernus, the Abaddon's already starting to scale so heavily that it actually accelerates it that much forward. Big gain there for NewBee now, having that Aegis. And I wonder what KP's going to build next. With that Radiance, he's got another 3,000 already in stock.
My goodness. Radiance, is Octarine still the build on this Radiance Abaddon?
It's pretty damn strong if that's what they want to go for, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we know that obviously he's going to have mana for days. He can spam out those spells, as you mentioned, with having that Essence Aura, the OD when they group up and push. Looks like it's going to be the Aghanims as he picks up the point booster. That's going to be the next point of call, and I mean, that obviously brilliant as well. If they do want to try and do something about ending the game soon, it's going to be massive up top. We will have the side of Evil Geniuses going for the play, and they'll purse
they actually cursed him down before.
Very nicely done.
With the Silver Edge.
Silver Edge, hasn't he, Universe?
Silver Edge Orchid, unable to use that ultimate.
Nothing
from Abaddon
he can do. I mean, that's the combo. And that's him down for a minute.
Maybe now he'll change his item build. Maybe he'll switch up to a Lotus Orb or something along those lines. We'll see if he does make the adjustment. He did buy the point booster, but needs something to be able to remove that silence so that he can activate and trigger his ultimate through that Silver Edge.
Oh, yeah. He does change it.
He changed it up, right? Manta instead.
Going for the Manta stuff.
So more of a scaling kind of item. He wants to be a damage-dealing, transitioning core rather than getting these supportive type items.
Top cleaning out the way. Crit just sending the boat through. Faith hiding in the trees just in case anyone else was going to reveal themselves, but EG backing up. Not looking to stick around. As the diffuser play finally done us a bit, but it really feels like this
power behind.
I was going to say, this is quite a slow game from Sumail. I mean, you look at the net worth on the heroes, and this is not the position you normally expect Sumail to be in, at the bottom of all the cores on the map.
They put a lot of emphasis on this,
True,
Mirana.
they did gank a few times at the start.
They put 3 ganking on mid, and EG doesn't really have heroes that can save the Mirana that well. So yeah, Sumail's definitely struggling in this one. NewBee with that Aegis.
It's all about that.
Making the play now toward mid, smoked up on the 2 supports behind the OD. They're showing the Venomancer top 2, so EG might not be expecting this one.
I mean, Sumail, we just talked about him having a tough game. It's about to get even rougher as they trap him in the static storm. NewBee again with these big pickoffs. And at this pace, I don't know if the Sumail's even going to get the chance to catch back into this game. As NewBee consistently focusing him down, and it's absolutely working at this stage. It's so hard for Sumail to be any sort of threat at all against NewBee's lineup. It's
such a smart way that they do it too. It's like they don't show many people on the map. The lanes are in a pretty decent spot. Then Mugi shows top. He starts like forcing the wave out a bit, and they smoke behind that mid lane with only 3 heroes, which EG just there's no way that they can see that coming with the Venomancer showing top.
Here we go, up to the high ground. NewBee ready to push in. EG, what can they do to hold this off? There's no Sumail Mirana for 25 seconds. So KP can just afford to stand there, beat in upon it. We'll start to TP back at least the Sand King to try and clean out this bottom lane, as there's a bit of a split push coming in from Evil Geniuses. They themselves moving forward. Universe with the Treants starting to put some pressure onto the tier 3, and it looks like that's going to be enough to bring NewBee back off.
Oh, Kaka just causticing all that down. Cash money. SCCC building toward a Hex next, already level 20, so we were talking about those 25s a couple minutes ago, and it's approaching that point. Abaddon as well, getting level 20 soon. Once they get those level 25s, it just becomes absurd. But those 2 talents are super powerful for the long drawn-out team fights.
I mean, what's the plan here for Evil Geniuses? How do they recover from this sort of slump that they're hitting in the mid game? And with a lineup that it feels like it's going to be hard to come back against the size that SCCC is. I mean, you see SCCC
just going in
into the jungle of Evil Geniuses, popping the BKB. You know, he's had it with this passive play. He wants to fight. He wants to look for the action. I mean, he's now going to be a BKB charge down. I mean, we'll see if EG can capitalize on this. They've got Zai.
There's no BKB on the OD, but still Aegis. They don't want to try to make a play.
They get it out.
There. It's too scary. Abaddon's right there as well, so if you do get like the arrow combo or anything, he can just remove it off. Definitely can't make an aggressive play onto the Aegis there.
I mean, that just goes to show, you know, effectively how far NewBee feel they are ahead.
Yeah.
Your OD can just blink into the jungle, BKB, and he's like, if I get a kill, I get a kill. If I don't, whatever. Feeling that confident at the moment with the situation.
EG pretty much, like you were asking before, they need to split the map up. They need to just keep splitting until that Aegis, once the BKB start getting lower as well, the fights start becoming a bit easier, but it still ain't easy. It's a very hard game for them coming to the further state because of those talents that we mentioned and just the nature of how NewBee's draft works for theirs. These BKBs, BKB on Veno, BKB on OD, majority of the threat from EG is just countered from that Magic community.
And there's no doubt that the split is being played. You see Universe, he amongst it all is still top of the second on the net worth.
They're trying to make a play.
So much across the map.
When that Aegis expires, they're trying to make a play here. But the BKB is back online for SCCC.
I mean, how do they catch it? They have to get
Torrent
the
arrow.
Torrent. This is the combo. Torrent there, into the arrow, perfectly done. The Orc in the boat. Very, very clean execution from EG.
That's the only way they can do it is if he can't get the BKB up with the full.
I mean, and now that is an OD down for a minute. SCCC does not have buyback.
Yep.
This top lane, looking to be in trouble as EG are coming forward. Kaka tries with the epicenter, but he barely catches anyone. He gives a bit of a tickle to Arteezy, but EG stick around. The silence is down to KP. He's forced back. Mugi will
Storm on 2, on 3.
Has trapped 3 of them here. EG may have overstayed their welcome with the burst strike as well. NewBee still fight back hard without their OD. They may even get more as there's the glimpse back onto Crit. NewBee say this is very much still a game we have a hold on as they bring 4 of EG down. And EG, quite like myself, maybe getting a little too excited off the back of taking down the OD.
I was just sitting there waiting for the fight recap to come up just so I can see how much damage the Venomancer did. 5,100 damage in that fight, getting everybody into the Poison Nova. Perfect follow-up Static Storm without the OD, as you were mentioning. Yeah. They get a lot of damage on that tower, though. It's down to 200 health, so it does give Universe a bit of opportunities and options to go there and pressure it, but you see how hard it is for EG to get the kills on the OD there. It has to be perfect, the torrent into arrow, because they don't have that instant disable for the BKB.
And look at this. I mean, this is just the dream here as well for Faith. Just waltzes in. Look how grouped up EG are. They got so set on trying to finish off KP.
The Force Staff.
Bam.
You know, we touched on it. We said the Force Staffs were so important in this game. They almost killed KP because of the Silver Edge Orchid combo, so he couldn't use his ultimate. But then Force Staff, he's out of range, and the fight, EG just gets put into a clumping position and get hit by multiple ultimates and suffer.
And we saw there, you know, KP's life once again nearly was on the line because of the fact that he got Silver Edge hit and silence. Now he's got the Manta Style. So they were close to killing him. Now it's so hard. There's very little they can do in terms of trying to kill him at all at the start.
And even the Manta Radiance illusions are just obnoxious. It's not like they really have any hard right clickers on the side of EG. It's the Nature's Prophet and the Murano for that evasion, but it's just annoying that how farmed this Abaddon can be already. Level 22, getting closer and closer to 25. Universe.
We'll see. Jumping in, has the setup, Sentry down. Zai will come in with the save. And straight with the glimpse. Oh no! Oh, Faith! He was there outside of the sleep radius, ready to set up with the glimpse back, and Universe is gone. I mean, NewBee, nothing goes past these guys. They will catch you.
And they're getting a lot of momentum. 8,000 gold lead now. We have a Disruptor's 3/4 of the way toward an Aghanims as well. That's going to be a really nice little luxury piece that he can pick up. And the siege comes out.
Yeah, now this is NewBee's turn to go. This is how you break a high ground. The Pope will come through. It's going to be duked out, whether it be Yules or Astral Imprisonments to keep NewBee safe. Jump forward, SCCC just goes in. They jump forward with the Bow Strike crit. Will be kept alive by Zai, only just. The Pipe's out as well. Buyback from Universe as they do their best to hold here, EG, but already the tier 3 falling low. It will force the BKB out on SCCC. NewBee now looking to disengage. EG chasing down with the Moonlight. Can they actually get a catch onto anyone? At the same time, indeed, top lane. The rack came through. Universe did take the top melee racks. So EG, with this split, they are paying very heavily with lives. Both Sumail and Crit go down. They got the melee racks trade, but was it worth it? Because now NewBee are back in. They know there's 2 down on EG. Faith will end up going down in the base as RTZ continues to put on the pressure, but Evil Genius's base looking to be in the bigger shambles as NewBee will clean up the middle lane of racks. Still 2 tier 2s in both of the side lanes.
They're going for tier 4.
They're going for the game.
At least.
There's no buybacks here for EG, only RTZ and Universe. Can they actually hold this? I mean, Universe is TPing back down to try and rat again, but it doesn't matter if you're splitting the racks, if you're losing the base. 1 tier 4 almost certainly going to fall, potentially 2. Now the buybacks have just come back on. Sumail can get back in, but already both tier 4s down. NewBee looking towards the base. There's the buyback. Can they hold? RTZ with the Shiva's Guard trying to slow them down. The arrow connects onto the OD. Tora follows through as well. Here comes the bow, but SCCC dukes it just in time with the Astral Imprisonment. NewBee, they're focusing the base. They're looking for the game. RTZ looks to cut down Mugi. Not quite enough damage. Mugi's still alive. BKB out by SCCC. Blinks in. Finishes off the game. NewBee take game 1.
Wow. Super impressive way that they stalled the game out. Letting 1 overextension from EG punish them so heavily. That 1 overextension in the mid lane just set them to a point where they could farm so many different places on the map. They let the Midas start kicking in. Radiance comes online. Once the BKB hits, that's when it was the big timing for NewBee.
Absolutely. I mean, the panel said at the start, this OD, it's such a smart final pick.
It was absolutely
It did
perfect.
so much.
It was perfect game.
But again, the support play from NewBee, we saw countless times. Faith on that Disruptor. I mean, I feel like you may even have to take this hero away from him. Half of the kills were because of his setups. He was there at the right place at the right time. We saw situations where normally you'd think you were safe. The sleep, the TP out. No, there's a Disruptor on the outskirts of it all, glimpsing you back. And, I mean, EG at the end, they did do, as you say, go and try for that split push play, but it was just a little too late.
Yeah, definitely too late. NewBee just putting those BKBs to work.
Absolutely. Well, there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Game 1 going to NewBee. I'm sure the panel's going to have a lot to talk about after that one. Back to you, Day9 and the boys.
Thank you. What an incredible finish to the game. So close, almost getting to the point where they could defend the Ancient at the very end. But, man, a lot of the big rotations from EG just didn't pan out in that match.
They had a pretty good early game. I thought they were off to a really great start. There was a ton of huge individual plays that we saw from all of their players. And then that one overextension mid that the casters were talking about led to NewBee's core, the OD especially, picking up his BKB, at bad and finishing his Radiance, and having a huge impact on the game. So it was it kind of just got out of control really, really quick there, and we saw that abrupt ending. EG was going for some split push, and NewBee was like, I guess we're just going to end the game.
What do you think about the Timbersaw last pick on Arteezy and the way he was able to play that out throughout the game?
I think they wanted a good lane matchup because they didn't have the last pick. They're like, okay, we can either pair him versus the Appa in a one-on-one, or we can theoretically put him mid if SCCC plays some sort of weird mid hero. But the thing is, SCCC doesn't really play that many weird mid heroes. They last made the Bloodseeker, and then I was like, okay, OD, he's up against a bunch of summons, no heroes that build BKB, and an Appa that can back him up in case anything bad does happen to him. So I saw the OD, I was like, oh god, this dude is crazy.
You mentioned it right before it got picked. And to do a little bit of analysis on what went on in that game, we got Kevin. Talk to us about these rotations.
Yeah, I think EG's draft was really interesting, and the way they played the game was pretty cool as well. If we take a look at the minimap at the start, they put good matchups between some of their cores. Arteezy playing against a Abaddon is a good matchup. The mid lane was about okay, and the off lane was all right as well. And the important hero actually was most likely Zai up there because he's able to, or I'm sorry, Universe, because he can actually TP to other lanes and contribute to those. So we saw that a lot of times. Arteezy diving on the bot lane against KP, and Universe is able to TP in, assist in getting those kills, and by doing so, it gives them a lot of map control, and it forces the enemy team to move around a lot. He ends up getting this kill. Another example of this happening wasn't just Universe, it was Arteezy staying in his lane, forcing enemy heroes to come over. As you can see, NewBee heroes coming from the top lane to chase him, and this is when he got that really cool Timber Chain escape after Glimpse, and it means that these guys moved all the way over here and accomplished nothing. So EG's draft was on paper working really well. They did the same thing over on the top lane as well. And if you take a look at the mini-map, actually, those two little heroes, they're still down there, actually. They're just now thinking about moving over to engage the rest of the game. So all over the map, EG was constantly pushing in every single lane. And as a result, it gave them a lot of advantage, but they just couldn't quite get enough kills. They got too far behind, and that ended the game at an early time.
I gotta say, it was really surprising to watch because, I mean, at one point, I think they were 9-3, 10-3 even, just getting kill after kill after kill, and we got to see that trademark EG knocking down towers so fast. I mean, Ake, where do you think they started to slip?
I think it was the fact that Peter was talking about the mid-fight. They actually started the fight with Naga Sleep when they already used the arrow, so they couldn't use the Naga Sleep setup for that, and they didn't really have to take the fight either. They just went in because I don't know why, but
feeling good, man.
Yeah, but even though that, they managed to get a really good kill on the OD on the top lane, like perfect torrent into arrow and kill him before you. He had the possibility to use BKB or any other spell.
Yeah, I think abrupt is almost my reaction as well to the sudden end of the game, especially with Universe picking down the top lane. Timbersaw was there, nearly getting the kill on the Disruptor. And that is an incredibly thin margin for NewBee to just identify that we can quickly kill. Now, to talk a little bit about NewBee, we have Machine here over on Jack's Corner. Gentlemen, talk to me about NewBee.
Jack's Corner. I was just thinking, what can we call this? This is an absolute pleasure, of course, Jack. Loved by all, myself included. Thank you very much, Day9. Yeah, so this is a great opportunity to hopefully fill you guys in the lesser-known intricacies of the Chinese scene. And we're going to be here for every Chinese team who have kind of taken over TI7, China versus the world in the upper bracket, cheeky bit in the lower as well. This is going to be fun. I get to pick your brain a little bit about this, Jack. And I know, I mean, you can tell me what they had for breakfast, right?
Almost. I'm not that close to them.
Close enough. The eggs? Is it eggs? Is it veg? I mean, what are they roughly?
Actually, a lot of them like American breakfast. I've noticed that from the last.
I told you he could analyze breakfast. He could do everything. And maybe you could tell me where I get on a suit like that as well.
You'd have to be on the Chinese panel for that.
Okay, no, I'm not quite there yet. Barely there on the English. Let's talk about this, though, and let's talk a little bit more about how China have done this. How have they taken TI7 by storm? They're in every single game in the upper bracket. We know people were talking 13-0 LFY, kind of knocking us out of left field. Where does this come to be? How does this materialize?
Well, it seems that for the most part, no matter how Chinese teams do through the rest of the year, when they show up at TI, they're ready. And, well, if you think about it, TI, it's the international. It's a chance to represent your country. Yeah. For most people, it's a very proud occasion. And for the Chinese, there are 22 nationals this year, Chinese nationals. And for the most part, these guys, they grew up going to school, wearing their neckerchiefs to school every day, lining up in the courtyard to sing the national anthem, just learning about their favorite national heroes when they grew up in school. So there's a lot of pride there, as there is for everybody. But in this case, it's mostly Chinese teams as well. So you have this situation where, let's put it this way, TI is the Everest of esports. And if you're going to climb Everest, it's an individual achievement, it's a team achievement, and it's sure as heck nice if you can plant your country's flag there too. So a lot of pride for everybody, and they get a chance to represent.
Well, that is incredibly romantic, and it makes a lot of sense, really, just seeing just how dominant they do come into the international. $23 million, but also pride. And when we say pride in the desk, sometimes it gets overlooked, but it is a real, so you're telling me it's a very real driving force behind some of the success of China.
Yeah, there's like an Olympic feel to it, essentially.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, interesting. I mean, someone who is no stranger to national pride on NewBee, in fact, after they picked up their first win, a real influential performance from him as well, is now SCC. And I mean, admittedly, his name is a horrible one for casters, and it does sound like a, I don't know, an overly agreeable Spanish snake, SCCC, but that's an awful joke. That's why I'm here on this panel. Let's talk about it, though. I mean, national pride, he's taken it a step further.
Yeah, so some fans know that he's served in the military. What that meant specifically was that he was in the military police, and in China, the firefighters are usually military police. They're part of the military. So for him, he was part of basically the disaster corps. So if something goes wrong, if there's fire, if he has to rescue someone, like he would be on the front lines. That corps would be on the front lines, risking their lives basically to help other people out. So you know, a year or two after that, he rose to the top of the Chinese ladder in DOTA, and now he's representing his country, putting his life on the line for his country in a different way here at TI.
Outstanding. Well, we're learning a whole lot more. We'll be back in here in Jack's corner, but for now, we are going to jack off and head over to Sean.
And this is where you get to see that I am the master of segue. Also, we will be continuing our exploration of the incredible teams here at TI and those who are not as well. An incredible piece coming up to talk a little bit about Wings Gaming.
就是 TI6的时候，我们队伍就大家看来是很多变，然后不管什么英雄都能玩。其实这也是一个长期累积的过程。进入 Wings 之前，我和我之前2个队友还一起效力过一个叫 SPG 的俱乐部。
在 TI5预选赛之后，我们4个和1队的当时在1队的跳刀一起组成了现在的 Wings。
Shadow， 他是平时话也不是很多，然后比较闷。
2号位跳刀，年纪最大，然后做什么事都比较稳重，看的不管什么事看的也都比较淡，看得比较清楚。
3号位费死边，是我刚打职业就接触的队友。一开始接触他的时候，他才16岁，就当时看着跟个小孩似的。 进步到现在，堪称是国内数1数2的3号位。
然后2兵 SS 是比较活跃的一个人兵，无论是游戏里还是游戏外，都是话比较多，然后挑起很多能够活跃团队气氛的一个人。
5号位的 Y 是我们队伍中年龄最小的一个选手，但是他却是我们的 BP 手队长。 他是年龄很小，但是心智非常成熟。确实，马尼拉 ESO 的冠军是我们赢得的第一个国际性的比赛的冠军。
然后，对我们这个团队的给了一个大家互相信任的一个基础吧。
Welcome on stage, Wings Gaming。
当时是因为之前刚赢了一个冠军，可能。 就是大家有一些松懈。
boom, they come in, they take down Wings immediately.
很能接受，但是经过那一次的失利，我们总结了很多自己自身一直没有着重暴露问题，然后通过那一次1-6，我们认为我们整体的心态上面又更上了一层台阶。
也是因为我们也买那个互动指南，也是看着奖金一步一步升上去的，而且我们也没有想到我们最后会拿到这个冠军，会赢得这么多奖金。进入总决赛之后，大家比平时可能更加的活跃，更加兴奋一点，也并没有打 DC 第一场输了下去，中场休息的时候。其实我们争论还是比较多的。
是当最后一把，就是第4把，我们阵容选完之后 ，BP 选完之后，我看着那个阵容，我当时才强烈的感觉，我们这把可能赢了。
然后我就在那个选手棚里面听到外面大家都在欢呼吧。然后我其实自己也心态也还比较好，就也没有特别激动。在我们最后一把，我们 Shadow 使用敌法的时候，用狂战分身带我们打赢了一波团的时候，我觉得我们那一把我们真的赢下这场，是我们真的拿到这个不朽盾了。
The ages of the immortal, it belongs to Wings. Ladies and gentlemen, the champions of the International Wings Gaming.
就是这个游戏想要赢比赛、得冠军，也是要经过时间的磨练吧，才能拿到好成绩吧。
有时候我会觉得它是对我过去的一种偿还，然后有时候我又会觉得它是对我未来的一种透支。
DOTA 给我带来了友情，给我带来了开心，所以我希望每一个 DOTA 玩家都可以像我一样，更加的珍惜这一份开心，这一份友情吧。
Having the pleasure of watching Wings Gaming run at last TI was a real treat. I mean, just incredible play, and after every single game, you could just see their excitement erupt. It was just so amazing.
Oh, that video, man, the feels. Watching people win TI gives me goosebumps.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's just such an incredible validation of this, you know, devoting so many hours, so many years in a row to trying to figure this game out, a game that is so hard and so challenging, and still going up against that pressure and trying to overcome any interruption focus to succeed.
People overuse the phrase dream come true, but like winning TIs and holding that Aegis above your head, that moment, every single person will remember for the rest of their lives.
And here now we see that EG and NewBee are back yet again at an opportunity to win TI. They currently are in the upper bracket with NewBee leading 1-0. And we saw NewBee just play absolutely magnificently, not bending to the will of EG early on, who was just hammering them again and again with these early pushes and these early picks. And now, again, I will ask, EG going into the draft, they do seem to have this leaning towards having a very versatile lineup. And I mean, we expect to continue, I would assume.
I think that their first 2 picks can be open, but then they have to figure out where they actually want to go with the lineup, because picking Prophet but not being able to push more than 3 towers in the first 15 minutes or 20 minutes even, that's not so good. And yeah, they finished up with some heroes that didn't really fit with the lineup.
I thought the OD pick for NewBee was like the game-winning pick. It was like the perfect hero for that situation, but EG, they were really lacking on anything to deal with the other team when they got a BKB. Like, that was the issue, right? Like, OD got BKB and the game was, you know, had free reign for 10 seconds.
You know, Merlini, I remember right before that final pick, you were suggesting that maybe OD might be a good possibility here. What was it about OD that stood out to you as such an exceptional choice?
Talked about earlier, they had summons. It's great against summons and illusions. And then he's not so great against push, but I didn't really think they had a good way to break high ground. And then secondly, he had an Abaddon protecting him, which is great. And then thirdly, you have the double save, right? It's versus the Kunkka X combo and then versus the arrow too. So you have like multiple fail saves and no BKB carriers. Also, no one built evasion. I think OD fell off a lot when people built Solar and Halberd all the time. OD has a miserable time for any sort of evasion, but they didn't have any.
I think another big characteristic of that last game is that we didn't really see Sumail go crazy as he has in a lot of games. He seemed to be dying very early in a lot of these fights, sometimes even dying before being able to pull off a Moonlight Shadow.
Disruptor is one of the better heroes against Mirana.
Yeah.
Really easy to catch him. We saw a couple, like at least in that first gank, Sumail didn't even try leaping. He just like turned around and arrow to creep. He was like, at least I'm going to get another CS before I die.
Yeah, I saw that. No, that's what we're talking about when a greedy player at every single point. Because for me, I'm still right-clicking. My heart's pounding. Maybe there's a chance. It's not a chance, man. But at least he can get 25 gold out of it.
He knows the scenario, and he wants to max min and get that last CS and spam by all his items.
You know, I heard that Sumail was one of the best testers of Valve Dota patches because he is so hyper-focused on exactly how every single hero feels that he'd say things like, oh, God, you know, like he got level 3 one last hit earlier than he should have. And it turns out there was a bug that was occasionally giving 25% experience on denies to the enemy hero. So
that's how they figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, he's a pretty dominant mid laner, so he's the one to push it, I suppose.
You know, he doesn't stream very much. What is he like in terms of his practice?
Practice?
Yeah.
He probably plays the least pubs out of anybody on that team, but he's a fierce competitor. He really does get emotional over wins and losses, and he wants to win more than anybody, and that's his competitive edge.
Is it a lot of grinding in private matches or in just, you know, practice one-on-ones?
He does. Him and Universe do some one-on-ones to warm up, and I don't know. I think he is just very talented, an incredible hard worker, of course, but very, very talented at such a young age, and he just kind of gets it.
And it's just very different how people can prepare for like games and like how they actually get better at the game. Like some really like to play a lot, and that really helps them. But like for me, when I was at my top, I barely played pubs at all. I only played pubs when I wanted to practice a new hero.
You talked about watching replays of your favorite players or the players that you thought were the best and trying to learn and emulate some of the things that they did.
And replays of opponents to see how they play and just use that instead of playing myself.
If you like turned it into a pie chart of you preparing for an event, like how does like replays versus pub matches versus private matches and scrims?
I mean, overall throughout the year, most people play the most, but like maybe a couple of days before a tournament, it's better to watch replays and prepare in that way.
Oh, really? So the closer you are to the event, the more that you're actually wanting to be thoughtful.
People are constantly changing and adapting to what's happening in the meta and in the ecosystem around them. So it's really hard to almost predict or guess what a team is going to do before you actually get to the tournament.
Well, the great news is Game 2 is about to begin between EG and NewBee, with EG currently down 0-1. Will NewBee be able to close it out with another incredible performance, or will EG tie it up?
Evil Geniuses versus NewBee. Game 2.
As always, I love when there are two excellent mid laners being matched up against one another. Incredibly excited to see SCCC's pick going into this.
It's a pretty even matchup last game in between Mirana and OD. I think Sumail actually did come out on top. And then a couple of key ganks from NewBee onto Sumail brought SCC back ahead.
So overall, I think Evil Geniuses just had a way weaker team fight. Their main team fight was Naga, Siren, Sleep, and an Arrow, which is, I would say, pretty weak versus the double safe that they had. And you mentioned that they probably could build a pipe or something like that, but even so, I think the damage was just not there compared to like Venomancer and OD.
Sure, that Abaddon pick was really, really great. It's a hero we haven't seen a ton of, but up against an early Mirana, it makes a lot of sense.
Interesting first two pickups from NewBee. Earth Spirit straight into Shadow Shaman. We've seen some Earth Spirit and some Shadow Shaman at the tournament.
Yeah, we haven't seen too much. That Lycan, that's a hero.
There we go.
That hero is great against Shadow Shaman.
And a comfort pick for RTC and EG overall.
Absolutely. You build Necro on Lycan, and you don't have to worry about the Shadow Shaman disables at all. If you try and shackle Lycan, his summons are just going to kill you.
Once again, we see the exact same bans that have been popular throughout the entire tournament. Well, picks and bans. Puck, Earthshaker, Lich and Nyx out of the pool.
NewBee starting off their draft with some team fights from Earth Spirit and some tower push from the Shadow Shaman. It's a nice combination to put together team fight and push. EG is going to need to either pick some team fight or potentially some more split push to spread out NewBee.
Feels a little painful having Nature's Prophet get dumped off that early. There's been a lot of like in Nature's Prophet games that Evil Geniuses have pulled some really successful pushes off with.
Yeah, like I was just saying, they got to be really careful for that split push. So Furion, one of the best split pushes in the game, is a great ban for NewBee here in the second phase.
Oh, Enchantress, oh come on, that hero's awesome, man. Don't do that to me, NewBee.
And that is the thing that is, like when you go into the main event from the group stage, you can see that NewBee are actually banning heroes that EG used to play a lot. They used Enchantress, Prophet, Shaker, and Puck, and they're banning all of those heroes now.
This is like the group stage of EG Incarnate right here on the left.
And that's why having that day off and being able to go through and look at all of EG's drafts, watch some of their replays, maybe even practice against a team and pretend they're EG.
Yeah.
I mean, this is actually going to be really interesting to see the remainder. I mean, I feel like the bans are almost more interesting than the picks at this point, especially given that they are some of the most commonly picked heroes that we've seen consistently show up.
This is the most beautiful part of Dota. People just don't understand.
Peter, I will never doubt you ever again. I now believe you fundamentally whenever you speak.
Yes. So last series, we didn't actually see Sven banned out versus Lycan, which I'm very surprised to see. And Evil Genius has banned it out. I guess NewBee probably pick it a lot more than the players in the last series, but it's one of the best counters versus Lycan. Either build, like the Mask of Madness Armlet build, or the Necro build gets slaughtered by Sven. He has the best armor.
Not Lycan and all of his summons will be stunned by the AoE stun of Sven, and then he just cleaves everything down. And Sven's oftentimes build BKB, so if there's a Necro there, he can just pop that Necro real quick and not take any damage.
And Lycan's all physical, and Warcry he just runs around and does nothing, generally.
Pick 3 for NewBee, Queen of Pain. There we go. You know, every mid player I've ever heard talk about this hero just loves Queen of Pain. Just feels really nice.
Every mid player plays Queen.
It's like a flashy hero, and oftentimes mid players they're pretty flashy, right?
Yeah.
High performers.
Who's the most modest and mild mid laner of all?
Super.
Super.
From LFY.
Easily. He plays DK Viper. It's just like
least flashy. Man, that's what I'm talking about. He flies to do
That's
a
your guy, man.
He plays to win. He plays to win.
Let me tell you something. When I learned that there was a hero that had a button and was mid, I was all in on the Viper, man. He is the best.
You're a big fan of Spirit Breaker too, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. In fact, for any new players who are interested in getting into Dota, strongly recommend Viper, strongly recommend Spirit Breaker. The best.
All of my friends who are not so good at Dota, their best heroes are always Spirit Breaker.
Yeah, no, it's like my best hero, like by a significant margin. I am mediocre.
So Quap's pretty great here. No Nyx in the pool, no Puck in the pool. Naturally going to be a pretty good mid laner here.
Disruptor, this hero's popular.
It's a very good pick against Queen and Shadow Shaman and Earth Spirit. Like all of these heroes except Rasta have good escapes, so the Glimpse is going to be very good to be able to catch the Cop or Earth Spirit.
Yeah, and we saw just the mass silence from Disruptor in pretty much every single match today. Have probably the hugest swings in every single game have been a direct result of Disruptor.
Yeah, a great static field can turn the fight for sure.
So EG has a very good tower push lineup with Lycan, as well as good team fights with Sacking and Disruptor, so they're probably going to be able to force towers early.
Bristleback, the 4th pick for NewBee, extremely durable, very annoying and hard to kill.
This hero's presented a lot of problems. We saw this in our first series between Liquid and IG. The Bristleback laning up against the Lycan. Burning on the Lycan had a pretty rough time. We'll see how EG and Arteezy managed to find him some early game farm.
Yeah, but we did see Mind Control have a rough Bristleback game, which essentially eliminated any mid line for Team Liquid, and then had a great game with Bristleback, which was huge in terms of pressuring the opponent.
Definitely a great hero. He can build some armor items like Ben was mentioning, get that early Solar Crest, reduce a lot of the damage from Lycan, maybe even dodge some attacks.
He has a lot of ways to get farm as well. He can actually go back and stack camps as well as ancient camps, and not only the normal one. So he's a lot of way to get farm, even though he gets pushed out from the lane.
So you want a Silver Edge carrier that's pretty good against Quap. I like Lena's one of the ones that I like for mid, but maybe you want to save that for later.
Big bad Enigma.
Oh yes.
Or team fight from EG, which I think is exactly what they needed. This hero also great with the what's the third spell called?
Midnight Pulse?
Midnight Pulse, yeah. Awesome against Bristleback. Can keep him off your towers. I like the pick. A nice BKB hero to ignore Shadow Shaman and Earth Spirit disables, even potentially a Queen of Pain Orchid down the line. Remove that silence, allow him to get off a clean black hole. Right now they have no disable through Black King Bar, so Enigma's got a pretty nice game looking.
There's not that many ones that can do that. I think the only one that I can really think of is Venge. Silencer too, I suppose, but.
So since we have one pick remaining for these teams, what is perhaps the biggest weakness that you're seeing in these lineups that need to be filled in?
I think, I don't know, I like where EG's at right now. They got some nice team fight, they got some nice vision, maybe a little more carry, which I imagine that's what they'll get for Sumail last year, so a little bit more damage to follow up on these disables from Sand King Disruptor and Enigma. What do you guys think about NewBee?
NewBee, either some way to deal with the Lycan or the Enigma. Like, either they can pressure the Lycan with the Bristle and then have some sort of BKB disable for the Enigma.
So definitely some disable for...
Yeah. They could also go like Bloodseeker or something too and deal with the Lycan. I've seen that as a common pickup versus the Lycan.
This Enigma is quite problematic, though.
Yeah, agreed.
Whatever carry they think they're going to pick to deal with Lycan is also going to be black-holed for a majority of the fight.
You made a great point earlier, you know, wanting to have a Silver Edge carrier to be able to use a Silver Edge ability to disable Bristleback's passive, but of course Lena, who you recommended as maybe a good choice. 5th ban for NewBee.
So I've also seen some other matchups too. I think LC, pretty good Bristleback counter and good versus Queen of Pain in lane. Sumail doesn't play too much LC, but it was popular by some of the top teams in the group. I believe maybe played it very often in the mid lane.
You could potentially cancel a black hole.
Oh, that's next level.
I mean, it could happen, right?
Okay, so they banned one of the heroes that can deal with the black hole through BKB. He's the best one because if you get BKB Linkers, you can still stop it.
Ooh, Necrophos.
Keep on going on this push strategy.
That's a mid Necrophos, I think, for Sumail. That hero is dominant in the mid lane.
Is that something that he usually plays?
I don't think so.
It's not really as a main hero for me, but
I'm sure he has a decent amount of experience with it. I think he likes the hero. I'm pretty sure he plays it in pubs from time to time.
We've seen Arteezy on Necrophos quite a bit, but of course Arteezy is 99.999% going to be Lycan.
I'd be very surprised if Sumail took up the Lycan. However, he's probably suggesting it to crit and Arteezy. He's like, let me play Lycan. I got this one. that's kind of what Sumail and Zai do. They just suggest every hero for themselves, and you either listen, but most of the times you don't.
Of course. Now, with one last pick remaining for NewBee, it sounds like the consistent theme you're bringing up is having a good way to deal with Enigma's black hole, trying to figure out
big problem.
A core that can fit in that.
Or you need to fight around it. Maybe you do some split push. Let's see what we got.
And it's going to be
the
Bloodseeker.
All right.
Yeah, Bloodseeker deals with Lycan. I think you have to deal with either one or the other because they don't have the Sven, so Bloodseeker deals with Lycan. Enigma, if it gets past 40, it's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, look out for Enigma and his Blink BKB, and then we'll see how NewBee handles those team fights, but I think it'll be pretty difficult for them.
So before we get into this game, Erlini, I just want to get your thoughts on who you think came out with an edge after the draft.
I would probably say Evil Geniuses because I like the Enigma here. Enigma seems like it's going to be pretty dominant, and there's no way to stop them into the late game.
Well, it's time to get into game 2 between Evil Geniuses and NewBee. Let's send it down to the floor.
Thank you very much, Day9. And indeed, game 2, Evil Geniuses versus NewBee. We've seen the drafts. It's EG a bit like, that's a nice support duo there. It would be a shame if someone was going to borrow that. And bang, this time round, they've got the Disruptor Sand King, switching it around a little bit in return. And a bit of a funny one from NewBee. That final pick, the Bloodseeker, but that silence is going to cause issue for some of this team fight that EG are going to bring.
The silence can cause issues, and like Ben said, you have to do something when you have this kind of draft coming out. You're like, man, we have to deal with either the Lycan or the Enigma. So they make the choice that we're going to go for the Bloodseeker to deal with that. I don't think just that. I think also they have a really fast-paced early laning phase. That's the one thing that EG can suffer in. These heroes take some time. They don't really have the greatest heroes to gank for either. Like Sand King Disruptor can gank, but they can't gank for the Enigma lane. They can secure the Lycan's lane, and then they can kind of make the rotations for the Necro, but it's still not the greatest one in comparison to where SCCC is going to be playing a Queen of Pain with Earth Spirit rolling in.
And
so they're going to be putting a lot of pressure and having this Bloodseeker with the Thirst get online a lot faster. So that's the one scare that I think in the first 5 to 10 minutes in the laning phase that EG can suffer.
Yeah, we've seen in the past SCCC Queen of Pain can be quite the showstopper. So a lot of hype to see what he can pull out now. Sumail this game, as the panel mentioned, it will indeed be playing the mid Necrophos. And kind of as the panel touched upon, something we don't see that much, but Sumail raising the stakes there in the mid lane. Giving the good luck to SCCC. SCCC will get it right back there with a thumbs up as well. I like it.
Oh, this is great.
Just dropping the mail as well. I love that. I mean, this is the great thing about the mid lane. We saw it last game. It was a little unfair. SCCC kind of brought his friends across.
We got smiles coming out from Faith. Everyone's in good manners right now.
But at the end of the day, it's such an important game. You know, for Evil Geniuses, if they end up dropping down to the lower bracket, it's obviously something that we've seen them do a lot in the past, and maybe it's saving straps for the lower bracket. But I'm sure they're going to want to bring this one to a game 3. Yeah. And the panel, they seemed a lot more comfortable with the lineup that they had in comparison to EG's lineup in game 1.
Yeah, I think. Like Ben in the panel did say, the EG's lineup, if they get to that BKB Enigma point, it's where it's super difficult. Because there's no way to cancel it. There is no way for NewBee to really deal with it in that direct way. They can deal with it in other ways of just forcing fights around it and try to take engagements like that, like pickoffs and whatnot. And I think that it's going to be important to watch the supports on the side of NewBee, because I think what they're going to just be doing is putting as much pressure on the other 2 lanes, so this Bloodseeker can just use his Thirst and Blood Rage to kind of 1v1 versus that Enigma. And we do see mid lane, Kaka actually places a very sneaky ward behind the tower with his smoke movement. So he's looking for a courier.
Look at this though. EG are playing a step ahead. They're taking it around the long way. And I think that this is going to work out. Kaka unlikely to come and check around elsewhere. It will be caught under the vision now, but EG were prepared for that there.
Maybe on the way back?
That depends. Yeah, how careful they're going to be here. It looks like they're not going to be careful enough indeed. They were careful on the way out. They weren't careful on the way back. As Kaka grabs the courier.
So that's one way to get a good start off for your Queen of Pain and your Bloodseeker. They're already going to have pretty decent matchups, but with that Surge of Gold, it's now a Queen of Pain Shadow Shaman with high base damage versus this Sand King Necro. And the Bloodseeker, like we said, in that 1v1. So putting that, it's pretty much a tri-lane mid from NewBee to put the pressure onto the Necrophos. Because Necro's a hero that it can be very strong in that mid lane, but if you start getting like just pressured down by this Ether Shock and the Shadow Strike starts taking up, a roll hits you, you're going to be at low HP and you can just drop from that.
There we go, going in onto Zai there. Zai, that's the Burrow Strike back in return. Him and Kaka just trading hits. But yeah, for sure. And we saw as well last game how Sumail was pretty irrelevant for the last part of it because of the heavy pressure that NewBee put him on at the start. So yeah, indeed looking to go for a repeat performance in that state.
KP's going to get a lot because of this, the laning setup that NewBee does as well, that they have these 2 supports running around. The Bloodseeker has all the freedom in the world to just farm top versus Enigma because he can just walk in and kill the Eidolons. All they need to do is pretty much get people low, and this Bloodseeker can dominate this top matchup so hard with the Thirst. And even without having people low, he's still doing incredibly well. 15-3. He's gotten all of the Eidolons, I think, so far. Because Universe has summoned him, and it's still on cooldown 15 seconds, and all of them are dead. So Mugi is crushing that top lane at the moment, to be kind of expected.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we've been saying, the mid lane with the presence of NewBee supports, giving that edge, certainly in terms of CS to SCCC as well so far.
Being very good with their time usage on NewBee. At the same time, Faith is going around collecting bounties, also stacking Ancients to make sure that KP does have that surge, that increase of farm potential after the laning phase.
It will bring Zai up to this top lane, but the wave's pushing in. Mugi can maintain control underneath the tower. Zai very unlikely to want to come in for any sort of dive at this state of the game with Universe. So yeah, these lanes, they are looking super hot from NewBee in this first couple of minutes.
Yeah, EG's trying to make adjustments already. Yeah. Universe is probably like, he's just walking up and killing my Eidolons. I can't do anything about it. So Zai makes the move toward top, but now they're worried about the Bristle back.
Look at this mid lane pressure. Because of this move up top, Kaka now sees the opening to come in onto Sumail, bringing him down very low. There's SCCC. Does need to be careful in return though. Takes a fair bit of harass in trade there. Does have the salve up, knows that Sumail himself is out of regen. So at the end of the day, it doesn't get the kill. That pressure pushes him back. Okay, he's got a fresh set of tangos out from the courier. As we saw, that pressure, just SCCC using his dominance in this lane.
While he's low though, Universe top is just getting chased out because of the Thirst.
Yeah, look at this with the Blood Ride. That's going to connect Universe. He's going to be gone. I mean, this top lane couldn't have gone any better for Mugi.
He might get a return kill with the Eidolons. It's going to be very close, but no, with the poor man's shield, the damage block is too high. But yeah, just making sure, like, Sumail being at that 30%, he has Tango, so it's not that quick heal. And now aggression on Sumail again. Kaka, the roll off the mark with the Shadow Strike. Enough to slow him down a bit, but not to pick up a kill. But still, they're keeping him low, and this is where Bloodseeker thrives.
Yeah, I mean, maybe this is the thing, you know, Mugi's saying, don't kill him, leave him alive, just play with him. Don't kill Sumail, keep him alive on this minimal health, so he does have that boost up top. I mean, it's working out, it really is.
Yep.
Mugi feeling very safe on that top lane because of this.
All 3 lanes going super well for NewBee. The bottom lane, of course, is going a bit better for EG, but KP getting experience as a bristleback who's been left alone for the most part is extremely important. And of course, Enigma, Universe will, of course, will always get stuff up there, being able to not deny the wave back with those Eidolons on the range creep. So they will get some trade up, but Sumail's getting punished.
I mean, he had to walk all the way back to base and TP out, so absolutely not the situation you want to have your Necro in. This mid lane just being well and truly controlled, as well as the top lane. And as we're seeing as well, that the bottom lane not necessarily going bad for NewBee at all. It's easy, he is finding farm down there, but not nearly on the same level as Mugi. But I guess in comparison, you can also say as well, obviously the lead in the last hits is just down to the fact that a lot of those are Eidolons.
But those give a lot of gold.
But they do.
They do give a good shot. And at the same time, it's KP having... He's going to have a quad ancient stack already prepared for himself, and he's almost level 5 on the bristleback already, which is super significant. Right now, though, he's 3 deep. With nighttime as well, with the double bonus from Hal, they should be able to clean KP
With
up.
the field, I mean, you can hope for some sort of deny for the small. And he gets it! He actually does get it!
The one troll creep!
I can't believe he got it! There was... How much damage does that thing do? It's nothing. It's like 20?
I mean, he has a stout shield as well, so
oh my goodness.
It does. I think that was the troll creep, so it's 28 through the stout shield as well. So, all right.
All right.
Unfortunate for EG.
I mean, I was going to bring up he could, but I didn't think it would happen. Oh, KP.
the one creep that was left.
Some say it would be skill, but KP, he had it planned out all along. Wow. I mean, well, with that, all 3 lanes, you know, NewBee, they're very happy with the way this game is starting off.
Oh yeah, they have a more than full level advantage on their mid laner over.
I mean, yeah, but look at the denies from SCCC. 21 denies in this mid lane.
Yeah. Shrine comes up. We'll use that right away.
So he's got to be a bit careful.
Nice.
It's only level 2. There is a haste rune on SCCC. He has a Sonic Wave. I mean, if he wants to commit, Zai's certainly gone. And well, with the wraparound from Kaka, coming in with the Boulder Smash, Zai, he'll try and play around with it here with the Burrow Strike. But SCCC just throws out the Sonic Wave, jumps in, cleans up one. I mean, he can look to play around with Sumail as well. They're going to have Kaka moving out of range. Arcane Rune bottled up by SCCC. He won't stick around to beat down onto Sumail, but it doesn't matter. He is just so far ahead, getting kills like this and such. This is such a one-sided affair, this laning stage. It really does feel it. I mean, top lane Mugi, 50 CS, 6 minutes in.
It's, you know, it's something we did discuss about right before the game did start. They do have very strong lanes, strong pressuring lanes, especially with that Bloodseeker last pick. The fact that they can leave him alone and make those rotations and put the pressure on EG is super important. Punishing that early kind of weakness that EG has in their lanes. It's Lycan can be strong if he has the proper support duo, but if you only have it as one support down there, that's where the offlaner is actually able to get stuff. So they force Zai to kind of be moving around all this time, and it just makes KP farm a lot in that offlane. 25 last hits already on an offlane bristleback, very significant. And the stacks continue.
I mean, what's the plan here for EG? We've seen already NewBee supports getting very active, at least the Earth Spirit as such in the mid lane, but yet to really have the plays coming out from Crit and Zai on this Sand Disruptor combo. I mean, when does something kind of click into place that allows them to enable action in one of these lanes?
Their 2 supports need levels, that's the big thing. So they have to play pretty much, in my opinion, reactively. They have to hope that SCCC kind of like overextends, and then they can have one of the supports set up and the other one TP in. So probably have Zai playing more around the mid lane, or maybe play with the Black Hole since it's online now. And since the Black Hole is up, they're going to go for Mugi instead with this triple rotation. Mugi seems to know something's up, though.
There is an Earth Spirit in the neighborhood as well. And he's straight out. He is straight out indeed. Over to the bottom lane. And they're actually going to try and do something actively with it as well. This is such a smart move here from NewBee. Will be scanned out, though. Scans there from EG. They know that something's going on in the neighborhood. And RTZ will keep himself hidden behind the tree line. I mean, he has to stay there. If he pokes his head out, one rupture and a lead in from NewBee could mean imminent death here for the Lycan.
They get the nice, EG gets the D ward on the lane ward that NewBee did have top because of that rotation from Mugi. They know, they're like, hey, something's up. He knows this gank's coming way too easily.
So EG definitely minimalizing the potential casualty there. They play it safe. Now NewBee have to look elsewhere to try and make this play with Mugi as they move him around the map.
Yeah, they're moving around it. At least they're, you know, they sent Kaka top, so it's like, okay, there's the wave that does come in, he'll be able to mooch a bit of that experience, but more rotations coming in from EG to try to at least pressure that tower. But at the same time, KP, this is where it opens it up for him. Arteezy unable to farm under the threat of where the Bloodseeker is. They still don't know.
Still 3 heroes up top from EG, seeing if they can get the catch onto Kaka. Now making the movement, both Crit and Zai. Next up could be towards the mid lane, but that high ground ward's still there for NewBee in that area, so very hard for them to get it. And RTZ realizes that NewBee's not leaving this bottom lane anytime soon. So heads up to top, joins his teammates, can look to try and get the tier 1 trade in return. And still, the potential for a kill is there. Crit in the neighborhood, trying to see if they can get the glimpse. Now with the lead forward, they have the vision with the Thunder Strike. Kaka, don't know if he can get himself out of this. He can certainly play with him with the boulder smash. He tries for the roll away, but there's the glimpse. Gets brought back into the clutches of Artur and Universe. And EG do claim the kill and should be able to finish off this tower as well.
Some tower trades, but good rotation. Picking off that Earth Spirit. Zai now able to get a lot down bottom with that tower being taken out. So he's only level 3 on the Sand King. Compared to last game, he was already level 6 on the Naga Siren.
That's true.
Pretty significant how under-leveled the support's actually on the side of EG.
Moogie's hunting for this. He knows Zai's low on the mana. If he finds a chance for a rupture, he'll go for it. But
No
Zai,
mercy.
keeps himself right back.
KP's almost got the Vanguard finished up on the Bristleback. As soon as he has the Vanguard, that's when the Ancient Stack farming begins. This is an offlane Bristleback who is top 4 of the net worth. That is very threatening.
And they can certainly look to group up and fight with their cause now. SCCC, he's finished off the Veil. 10 minutes in, he's got that ready to go. So huge amounts of magical burst potential there for him.
And they should have the Shadow Shaman 6 coming out too, so they'll have that, the actual tower sieging, because their heroes don't hit buildings too great other than that. The Bloodseeker and the Bristleback, I guess the Bristle can, but it's mostly those wards. Kaka now moving toward top, waves pushing in, should be able to get level 6 easily on that Earth Spirit. And then they have pretty damn good team fight on the side of NewBee to deal with EG. EG, like we said, they're lacking on levels on their supports.
Bear also done now for Sumail, so despite the definite tough time in the mid lane, he's not, he's still 1k net worth behind the quad, but has got that major first item. So as well, can look to start to make things happen. At the same time, Universe, he's picked up the Midas, he's good to go. He's there 4th in the net worth, definitely not suffering too much despite the fact that Moogie had such a good time in that top lane. And Universe definitely, at least going for the performances we've seen on this main stage in this series, I feel like the most solid performer out of game 1. Universe, he kept his cool. That Nature's Prophet, the plays, the split push, kind of one of the reasons that game went on as long as it did. So yeah, you can definitely look towards Universe to pull out something special here.
EG recognizes this, they know the strength of their lineup. Right, the lanes, sure, lanes didn't go the way that they probably wanted them to, but there still is that threat. Once they get their cores online, once that BKB eventually comes out for the Enigma, it's the biggest point. But till then, they have to kind of just play it back, make sure they get their levels, much needed levels on the Sand King and the Disruptor. Once Disruptor has 6, they can maybe make some aggressive plays onto this Queen of Pain with the Static Storm and the Reaper Scythe on top. But till then, they have very little kill threshold. And now NewBee, they're actually making the first go.
Yeah,
they've got the
so
smoke
scary.
online.
NewBee have so much potential here as this 4-man.
They've got Magnetized ready.
Zai.
Shadow Shaman's almost 6. He actually breaks the smoke.
He comes in.
Zai.
And with that, they have no idea where Zai actually is at the moment. No wars themselves in EG's jungle, so Zai will get out as well. So it looks like EG, with that Sand King movement, have avoided the potential that NewBee's smoke had there, which was an incredible amount. Immediately, KP splits himself back up towards the top. Matiki's coming in mid. If they can get the catch here, which indeed Crit can, brings back Moogie now. The whole team of EG ready to go.
Silence from Kaka.
Good smash back from Kaka to hold back the side of EG, but the Malefice was there onto Moogie, allowing them to chase him down.
You see that call there, though, from EG? They see the Bristleback porting top.
Yeah,
it's literally instant. Sumail pings. He's like, we're going on this guy. We need to get the glimpse back and get the kill. So that's a very big kill, killing the highest net worth here on the map. And that's we have yet to see a Rupture be able to be deployed by Moogie. EG is doing a very good job of defending each other.
Yes.
As we were kind of saying.
It's as you said.
That's the way that they get back into the game. They have to sit behind each other, hope that NewBee kind of overextends a bit, and then they'll get kills and come back through that one. Zai now level 6. We said the Static Storm is online. Everyone else getting their tools. Once that Blink Enigma comes out, that could be when we see the next smoke come out from the Enigma.
Yeah, he's close as well, Universe 1600. NewBee, who are they going to find here? Could just be Crit, and indeed, Silence bursted down immediately. Crit's gone. Tanks the gang. Definitely not the worst loss there for EG. But a kill nonetheless that NewBee are going to keep the pressure on in the mid lane. They're thinking about Roche.
With the Shadow Shaman wards. With Blood Rage. Yeah. Throwing Blood Rage on Roche with the goo, it's actually an immense amount of damage and speed for them to bring it down. EG seems to know something's up.
There's a ping straight on the pit from Zai.
They've got Black Hole. There's no blink yet for the Enigma to get into the fight.
Can they get it quick enough? They are mass TPing over, but it's falling so fast. Walls have been sent, and EG know the state. Can Zai make the play in time? Roshan falling low. There's the jump onto Shaman on the sideline. It's falling down. They're dropping the ult. They take that one, but they get Roche. NewBee have the Aegis, but the Black Hole from Universe comes in at the pip out for the pit. And EG, they take 3. SCCC may get out as well as Kaka, but EG, they're happy with that. Cleaning up 3, getting Mugi, you know, the big kill on this Bloodseeker, top of the net worth. Absolutely fantastic there.
Yeah, NewBee has to pretty much, it's go time for them right now. They know all the ultis were used by EG. They got to pretty much go for those next 2 easy objectives, the top tower and the mid tower. 3-man Static Storm, nice epicenter coming out from the side, and then the Black Hole follow-up from Universe. Absolutely perfect to bring them all down.
If only they were a few seconds earlier, it could have been that little bit greater, but at the same time, you know, we talk about how well EG took that fight. Sweet little things there, like as soon as the Roshan was going down, Mugi drops the blood right. Make sure that there's no chance for any sort of Black Hole or team fight play to happen during the last seconds of that Roche life.
Now it's all about, like we said, playing around those cooldowns. EG does have, they have a good amount of longer cooldowns in comparison to NewBee's.
Oh,
only
Crit. I mean, Mugi's like, are you alone? He's kind of questioning it. I mean, Crit's going to go drive the TP out, but the Boulder Smash is on point. Another freebie there for NewBee.
It's just a disruptor kill, though. It's not like this is a kill that leads into an objective. They have to make use of this time very well versus these heavy ultimates that EG has. And that's not really the best one, just as it's the 5 support. They're not getting a tower. And during this time, Black Hole's in 100 seconds, Epicenter's in about 20, and Zai's almost finished up the Blink Dagger now.
He's getting there. He's so close.
That's the big team fight that EG will have. NewBee has massive team fight with their Veil Earth Spirit combo, but once Sand King has Blink Dagger, then EG actually has a way to start the fight, which NewBee kind of lacks in a way. They have the Earth Spirit, but it's not that, you know, super reliable instant stun like a Sand King or something like that.
So if EG have any plans here around this tier 1 in the mid lane, at the moment NewBee getting away with a lot of damage upon it, and seems to be that EG will opt against holding this one. I put the fortification, but KP and SCCC stick around, finish off the tower.
Arteezy gets the die.
Very nicely done there by Artur.
The patience. He had them there waiting for that whole entire like 8-second duration.
He's got his Necro level 2 on the way out. Second recipe being flown out right now. So we'll soon have that level 3 Necro. We've seen how much damage this can do. I mean, if he just gets that, the Necros on the Shaman with the walls, he's just gone in a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
It can do absolute wonders at bringing down the backliners.
No way for you to deal with it. It's very good versus Bristleback and Queen of Pain too. The mana burn is very, very significant versus Bristle. You know, the fight goes on longer and longer, the quills become obnoxious, but not if he's completely out of mana because of a Necro book. So it's going to be a really significant item pickup for EG in those team fights.
Mugi, SMY complete, and looking straight for the BKB next.
Arteezy constantly trying to scout with one of his wolves. He has one kept with him, and the other one is just pretty much securing the areas where he expects them to make movements onto himself. So good micro coming out from Artur as expected. 10K player on Lycan.
NewBee going from objective to objective here. Take the tier 1 in the mid lane, straight up to the top tower.
So that's great for them. You know, that in the 2 minutes or the 3 minutes that Black Hole is on cooldown, they were able to claim those 2 objectives and net themselves a kill. But Black Hole is up. Blink is online as well for Enigma. It's go time with that Zai Sand King.
Indeed. They want to find something big. They know that SCCC's there in the middle lane. They did spot him out as he cleared the wave, but they want to try and cut off this push that NewBee put together up top. KP on the front lines. Still under the cover of smoke. EG have the ward there. They've got perfect vision. There's the jump forward. Malefice first onto Faith. Not looking to commit the ult because they don't need the Black Hole for that one. That's the Shaman down. Arteezy will transform as they may look to take more. KP controlled for the moment by the kinetic field. Universe keeping there's the jump again! Universe with the 3-man Black Hole! It's absolutely perfect! They take down 3. They get the Aegis as well. Mugi will escape. There's CCC also potentially in trouble. Universe blinking forward, getting the vision. Zai comes in with the Burrow Strike. SCCC one more blink Do they want to chase it? Universe did have Malefice again, but they will let SCCC be. But beautiful play there from Universe. He just created the right amount of distance. I mean, he only just dodged like a boulder smash flying in, and bam, was able to come back in. And NewBee, they did not expect him to get away with that.
That
just
big vision advantage. That vision advantage is so important. You see Kaka's going to come in later, and he tries to get a good boulder smash and silence. He actually misses the silence, and then Universe blinks over the stun and gets the black hole.
I mean, look at this. Universe kind of comes back, and then he sees Kaka. He's like, I got to get out of here, boys. I'm going to come back in now. Blinks over the boulder smash to come back in for that one.
That's where we always talk about as like pro players and analysts and stuff, how important vision can be in team fights. Having that ward there for them, EG has all the luxury to kind of be like, okay, this is who we're going to pick and choose and go on, where NewBee, they didn't really have any real vision in that fight to see where the Enigma was located.
Very, very nicely done there by Universe. You know, you've got to watch this man. Game
Enigma
one
is the crucial one.
I mean, Universe, he is definitely one that he is always going to keep his cool on the main stage. This is, you know, Universe very unfazed by any sort of pressure that he's put under. And, you know, you can see it here. He's keeping it cool.
It's Uni. We know him.
BKB next on the menu for this Enigma, bottom lane, hunting for Zai. Zai will be safe, though. Not quite going to catch him there with a roll forward from Kaka. SCCC, relatively close now to having that Orchid complete, so... But at this rate, it is going to be a similar time to when that BKB is online on Universe. So.
EG's probably feeling pretty comfortable now with the way that the game is starting to develop after that Roche engagement. The big thing is getting that Blink BKB on the Enigma, like we're always talking about. There's no way for NewBee to cancel it. They have to play around it really well. So we have BKB going to be built next for Mugi on top of that SNY. Faith is trying to go for a Blink Dagger because they only really have the Earth Spirit for catch at the moment on NewBee. So he wants to be able to have that extra catch to be able to take the team fights better. Because they can't just rely solely on Kaka to do everything, be all the lockdown and catch on their team.
Bit of downtime now between the sides. They look towards these crucial item moments. I mean, 20 minutes in, 8-5.
This downtime's great for EG. Black Hole is just getting off the cooldown during all this. Crit.
Kaka's hunting. Yeah, SCCC have found him. Crit again. The life of the support, constantly trying to get this deep vision out, but pretty much every time NewBee's been able to make him pay for it.
He got the ward down. He finished his urn before dying.
Sure.
This is just the job as a 5 support. You die for your team. You die for the cause. It's better than one of your cores dying. And now Black Hole is back online for EG, so they can try to make some plays, and BKB is about 300 gold away.
Okay, so there is a bit of a window now where SCCC does have the Orchid and no BKB, so depends if they see that on the co-op or if indeed they do try and make something happen before it, but I wouldn't be surprised if EG,
they can
as
just
you say,
sit back.
content waiting, get that BKB at least on Enigma, then look to make another attempt.
Arteezy continues to keep those wolves scouting out all over the place. Getting so much information on the map.
They do actually want to go. They want to try and fight. So Universe still vulnerable, but we saw how much he did before without having to rely on the BKB.
They're going to get a quick
Jump
easy
in.
pick.
Yeah, they'll look to just go immediately onto Faith. Malefice, the Midnight Pulse down. They'll put the Reaper's side, make sure that Shaman's down for 50 seconds.
They can get an invasion play here too. Arteezy's very positioned top for the push, so easy tier 2 can be clean, but Kaka is in position. NewBee may want to actually try to contest this. Shadow Shaman's dead for 40 seconds.
Kaka with that Yules as well. And another way to play around this non-BKB Enigma at the moment.
Bristleback is very farmed right now. Hood and Solar Crest very durable versus what EG has to throw off. Universe has to just sit all the way in the back. There's a deep ward though from NewBee, so they see everything for this engagement if they want to take it. But a trade is the choice coming up.
And in fact, Universe, he says, I can smell someone in these trees, clears out the tree line with the Midnight Pulse. An absolute jackpot. He hits it, finds Kaka.
And Crit's trying to set up for a glimpse play bottom, but Mugi hides in the trees, almost get the glimpse off.
Ooh, that was close there. And nearly got the vision with that field. But still indeed taking a tier 2, keeping control of their own. EG now finding the favorable trades across the map.
Slowly pulling ahead. This is the first time actually that EG has taken the lead in net worth this game. 23 minutes in.
Still very, very early days here for both sides. Diffusal, the next item for Arteezy, and he's very close to having it as well. I'm talking about being close. Universe pretty much with that BKB done now. Can get that recipe sent out. And then these fights become a lot harder because what do you do at this stage about a BKB Enigma? There's actually nothing, is there, on NewBee?
They have to try to split the fights and take them on from different angles. Catch EG pretty much off guard. RTZ does get silenced up by the Blood Right, but Sumail there with the heals.
EG are here ready to turn if NewBee come in too hard. You've got both Zai and Universe in the tree line behind the side of EG, keeping themselves hidden. And NewBee, I think they're aware. They hang around the tier 1 and they don't bite the bait too hard. They hold back.
They see the courier just went through both their wards with the actual BKB recipe on it, so they now know that Universe does have that one and may dissuade them from trying to take a head-on-head fight. So Bloodseeker going to be building toward a Radiance next, actually. Switches it up from the BKB that he had in the quick buy.
Yeah, the Radiance, I mean, that's going to be nice for numerous amount of reasons, really, isn't it? Something that they're going to hurt a little bit for the Ghost Shroud, something that just an extra thing that these two heroes, the Enigma and the Sand King, are looking to blink in. They have to now be aware of.
Just extra damage, easier ways for him to push out the waves, and he's probably thinking like BKB wouldn't really solve the issue that could happen in the fights where he's just going to get black-holed.
And always the missed chance. You've got two cores that aren't going to be building MKB anytime soon. Maybe RTZ down the line, but still has that Diffusal Blade queued up. Yet to invest, so we could see him change his mind at any time. SCCC as well, just working towards the safer part of his build. BKB next on the menu for the Queen of Pain, but EG
playing around their vision, making the smoke rotations. Every single one of their smokes has been to one of their observer wards that they placed aggressively in the enemy jungle.
And I think SCCC realizes, he said, look guys, the mid lane, the top lane, it's starting to push in. No one's cleaning it out. Everyone's off the map. And this is obviously the weakness when you go for these 5-man smoke plays.
He draws a circle actually on top of all of EG. He knew exactly where their movement was coming.
I mean, at this state, what's the plan here? Roshan is back up.
Yeah, and that's the secondary one. This is where probably the big next fight's going to happen.
Sure.
The Aegis and Cheese. It's hard for NewBee. They have to find some type of pick-off. If they can do some type of way to get vision into the backlines and find that Enigma, that's their biggest case scenario. Other than that, it's very hard for them to take team fights.
Kaka eyeing up potential onto Sumail. SCCC will blink away. They'll try and search in the tree lines here. There's the Force Forward to cut it in, and they know he's there. They've got the vision on him. He'll jump back, but there, with the Midnight Pulse and the Malefice, Universe has the control. And Kaka, can he do anything to escape out? He'll have the roll up again in 5 seconds. Does have the Yule Scepter, but he's just going to accept his fate and get beaten down upon by EG.
They're just trying to split up as much as possible on the side of NewBee. Radiance is now finished on the Bloodseeker, but fighting into this Blink, the Blink BKB Enigma they don't want to do it. And now out of this, EG pick up a nice DD rune for RTZ, walk into the pit. Easy Aegis and Cheese coming out for them.
Absolutely, NewBee nowhere near the area. No chance of contesting it at this state with the items, and as you say, that DD just being an extra bit of a bonus there for RTZ. Grab the Aegis, Cheese goes the way of Sumail.
It's looking tough for NewBee. What's the solution? The solution versus the Enigma BKB is you gotta play around it somehow, but they're unable to really get any big opportunities around it because EG has been sticking mostly together, not really giving NewBee any chance to get some pickoffs. BKB gonna be coming out for SCCC soon. So at least they'll have that for the Static Storm and for the Reaper Scythe, but it's still the problem.
They've nearly got the blink on phase, so that sort of catch, of course,
so they've
could be crucial. As you say, if they can get that jump onto Universe and keep him out.
They just don't have a way this time around for NewBee to get vision. There's no vision hero, where EG has the Wolves, which have been constantly scouting out, and also they've had a bit of vision advantage in the game just through warding. Those deep aggressive wards in NewBee's jungle have been really hurting. We saw in that one big fight that Universe got the black hole. That's exactly what happened. It's because they had vision there.
Starting to amp up the pressure here in the middle lane. Sumail, Force and Lotus complete. I mean, he's feeling very safe at the moment.
Oh yeah. The Lotus Orb is super good versus both the Blood Right and versus the Queen of Pain Orchid, but also just in case. I mean, if he gets that Lotus Orb and it gets, like the Rupture comes out, Bloodseeker who's ruptured can't do anything in the fight. Has to be perfectly timed though before the Rupture comes out.
Basha going to be the build here from KP after the The Solar Crescent Hood.
Ah, that could be one way to stop the black hole.
That's
right?
one way to go for the. If
get
you
an
can
abyssal
get that right
blade
angle,
and get in the right angle. No,
but it's very hard to do so.
Yeah, pretty much impossible.
Now EG ready to push down mid. They've got an Arcane Rune on Universe. And obviously with the Aegis and Chi still in hand, they really want to try and make something happen here. EG.
Universe is scarily approaching it.
Do they get the glimpse back onto Kaka? But still a little too deep for EG to commit fully onto the Earth Spirit. But they're maintaining hold of NewBee deep behind the tier 2. So this tower is going to be very hard for them to defend. And indeed they will not. EG take the tier 2 tower. Crit thinking about whether there's potential to go in for a play here, and in fact, well, it's easy. He just pops the ultimate and gets out of it. Continues the farm going.
Wants to go maybe farm faster.
I guess, and maybe feels that they're just not going to take a team fight anytime soon with the way that NewBee are dodging it.
He wanted to cut the creep wave top as well with his book and his necro, or with his wolf. He sees SCCC pushing top. He wants to farm ancients and cut the wave and farm as much as he can with that. Since there's not an engagement happening for a while. From the way that NewBee's playing, EG definitely has that kind of read. They're all just kind of farming. They're in a position where they don't really know what they want to do, how they want to take the fights, because Blink BKB Enigma is just so damn threatening. And especially now, Aegis and Cheese doesn't help either.
I mean, Universe as well, with the amount of space he's being given. Very, very close to having a full-out Octarine.
Almost Octarine with the level 18 on top, and he's already got the cooldown reduction talent on top. So when he's got level 18, it gets down to that, like, what, 98 second, I believe it is, or something. Very close to that duration, or 102 seconds.
And it really goes to show, again, how sort of passive this game has started to fall into this period. You look at all 6 cores, they're pretty much at the same pace. This is just, 6 top tier, best in the world players, just having all the space that they want and just hitting creeps. And no one's messing up, everyone's keeping at the same stage at this point of the game. EG overall, slight lead.
I would assume that EG probably feels a bit happier with the pace of the game. Like,
well, because of their heroes?
Perfect for them. Yeah, because they have they have the BKB Enigma. If you get to the point where you have Refresher 2 on top, it's like almost impossible for them to really take fights. And now with the Aegis still online, with Assault finished up for Arteezy, they can try to take an engagement.
Let's see what they can get here.
NewBee still just, they know. They just hide inside their base, have 1 or 2 heroes split pushing. They have no intentions of taking fights versus EG.
No. As soon as those 5 heroes are off the map, NewBee seemingly playing a wedge. This SCCC still down bottom.
They might lose Kaka here. If he gets spotted out by Zai, it's a possibility.
I see they do scan.
The scan
connects onto SCCC, and with the Midnight Pulse, they're going to catch it. There we go, straight away with the black hole. No messing around. Polar Smash will connect, but it's too late. The Queen of Pain's down, and Kaka with that play may have just paid with his own life. Will Yules up the SK to try and get around it, but you can't Yules underneath the tornado. He's stuck in the kinetic field. EG, they're going to get both of them out of this push. They even bring in Samael to add a bit of extra pain there to the death of the Earth Spirit. Down for 70 seconds.
That map awareness.
These scans, they can read it. They know that someone's hiding there, and who better to find than SCCC on the Queen of Pain? Massive catch.
Yeah, super worth it for EG to take engagements with one-man black holes like that. They know that there's no way NewBee wants to fight them, so spending it on just the main core hero is more than worth it. And now it's going to be Octarine finished up for Enigma, and they can start their tower siege on that tier 2 bottom, which that's all the outer towers.
Yep, they've got Assault Caress finished on Arteezy. Everything's ready to go for this. As you say, just no black hole, but with the position that they're in, definitely capable of taking a fight without that.
It's not going to take too long to come back up either. 90 seconds for this one, but the next one is 90 seconds after, but now the next one's going to be much faster with that Octarine finished up.
And 90 seconds in a game that's going at this sort of pace, it's not that much, as you say. The chance that anything crazy happens in favor of NewBee in 90 seconds.
They know the black hole's down. This is their time to try to make something happen.
But do they leave the base? It's still risky. It looks like, do they go out or do they just wait?
I think they have to try to make plays around the black hole timing. Like every single time it's down like that. It's going to get to a point where it's always going to be up. But they're struggling to get their waves out. The top wave and mid wave are out, but bottom now, they're going to have to show heroes.
And NewBee, understandably, very, very careful in this position. KP has the Abyssal. Arteezy himself. Nearly BKB on top of the Assault Caress. And obviously with those 2 items, he's going to be feeling pretty invincible in these fights.
Yeah. It's like the farm when you look at it, like you said, you look at the top 6 and it looks like NewBee can, they're in a way to be able to contest, but it's just the threat of the black hole. Yeah. It's just how much it really can. It's not even the threat, it is the black hole because he has the BKB in the blink. And here we go, smoke, it's 20 seconds till it's up. They draw the line. They see the Bloodseeker bottom now too, so they know that he's not going to be in the fight right away.
This should be a successful move from EG. NewBee, are they ready for this? Kaka on the front of it all. He's going to be the one to tank it. Jump forward straight away. They're looking for more. EG, they're not content with just one. They get the vision. Drag back KP. Held in the midnight pulse with the Necro units out as well. EG just ripping through this bristleback, and KP's gone as well. Evil geniuses.
Oh boy. It's looking impossible for NewBee to do anything. They don't even have to use Black Hole. At that time, it is just the threat of the Black Hole. NewBee has to completely disperse and unable to take any fight versus EG.
And of course, this push that EG are going to have, Assault Cuirass, the Necro units out, the sustain that Sumail can offer, it's going to be terrifying. They drop the Serpent Wards in an effort to push EG back, and it looks like that will actually do the job for now, as EG back away and aren't going to look to push in any further. But as you say, EG very, very comfortable with the position they're in. They can wait out these bigger items. Now they do have that BKB on RTZ, feeling that they're under no pressure whatsoever. They've got a 7K gold lead, not necessarily the biggest, but they know they take one fight with, or as we saw without that black hole, get the push on with the Necro books out. It's very hard for NewBee to put a stop to, and unless they have something like the Serpent Wards and the rest of their ultimates available.
I think NewBee might start trying to do some things that are desperate because it's just looking to get worse and worse as the game progresses versus EG.
I mean, it really feels like, we saw Mugi absolutely have an incredible time in that top lane, but at this stage, it feels like the Bloodseeker is just struggling to offer anything. I mean, it feels like NewBee even realize it themselves, as they're not even actively trying to fight with or around the Bloodseeker. They're just sort of letting Mugi farm and just hoping for the best by the looks of it.
Yeah, it's the BKB that we were talking about. It's just too much. They can't deal with it. They have no way to counter it. But now they're trying to bait SCCC mid. Maybe this could be the play that works for them.
BKB comes out, and now the potential turnaround. Universe will commit the black hole, but he didn't pop the BKB. He gets silenced. Now the turnaround. They will take down Sumail. Can they get anything more? RTZ pops the BKB, starts to chase towards Kaka. They found Faith. Kaka's going to be able to roll away safely. It's a 1-for-1 at the moment. NewBee with the edges. They've taken down Sumail. Now Zai jumps in looking for Mugi. Mugi will get taken down. Now it's EG getting the lead. SCCC trying to finish off crit. Earn a Shadow's heal. Not enough to keep the Disruptor alive. RTZ's lost the ultimate form. SCCC jumping back in. Kaka's there looking for the setup. Yule's up onto Zai. They've got the control. Boulder Smash connects onto both. SCCC trying to finish him off, but Zai up to the high ground. Do they have the vision? They don't have any sentries down at that point, so Zai will be able to continue to run. KP though chasing down RTZ. 4 stack. Can Universe save him? He can't. Nothing he can do to keep KP off RTZ. And a beautiful fight there. I mean, as you said, it was absolutely the bait there from NewBee, encouraging them, EG, to go in on that kill. We saw, the confidence that EG had just blowing that black hole on one target. Universe not even preemptively popping his BKB before committing, and then it just fell apart.
Don't think they expected everyone else to be there just because of the way Universe Black Hole did. You usually wouldn't see him make that kind of mistake. He must have thought, hey, it's just a Queen of Pain here, no one else is in the area. I don't want to waste my BKB, but definitely paying for that one,
again.
Paying for that choice.
I mean, straight away going in, and immediately, once that BKB is not out, Blood Right, the pull from the Spirit, it's all going to be there. And, being able to clean off the squishy backliners, they do get the one support. Kaka too elusive. And with fights like that, NewBee starting to close the gap back up. EG do still have the lead.
That's the
NewBee, they're into the pit.
The dream scenario.
They're going to get it.
They get that fight happening. Universe doesn't click the BKB, of course, but they get the win in the fight, and the Roche responds right afterwards. So HSG is going in their favor. They could not have asked for something better than that.
Very well played sequence of events there from NewBee, but definitely had the potential for that to roll out because of EG overstepping the mark and getting a little too confident with the position they were in.
Yeah. They don't really have the craziest amount of damage in the black hole if there's someone who's BKB'd, if RTZ's not in position. So that fight, RTZ was far on the left side when the black hole came out. Of course, it got canceled instantly, but he also got Abyssal too. So they need to make sure if they do use the black hole on targets that are BKB'd, they need to have RTZ in range to be able to do those. But, of course, it's also the black hole lasts full duration.
I love this. I didn't know if he was going to do this, but he has gone for the Blink Abyssal.
Go for it.
He is literally just playing this game to get behind and on top of Universe.
It was it's something we consider that could be an option. He could try to get into it. Sometimes it's still impossible. If you place the black hole like right on top of your tongue or just a little bit ahead of yourself, you actually can't get behind them to use that Abyssal Blade. But it's still not even a bad item to pick up to be able to get into those back lines. If he's able to like blink into the back and Abyssal Blade onto like the Disruptor or something during some of those follow-ups, it can work really great for their follow-up.
BKB done. The Bloodseeker, you've got to watch it as well for the durations of like universes. What's this down to now? He's only used the couple, the one, so it's just down to the 9. But once that starts to get low, there are going to be more and more openings for NewBee to fight around that threat.
They just, that's a big, I mean, it's a huge swing. It's almost 7,000 gold swings because of getting that Aegis and Cheese in that big fight. So now it puts EG in a little bit of a fearful position to play into it because you don't want to play with your black hole into multiple lives, and this is where NewBee's going to try to take advantage of it, because if the black hole does come off with the BKB, they don't have to cancel it now. They can wait for people to respawn and do that. Crit, trying to walk up. He's going to tank the game.
He jumps on, will get the Glimmer Cape off and jumps back, but the Boulder Smash comes through. They're trying to turn around the Universe coming in, but no! He gets it up, but it's only onto one. Will kill the Shadow Shaman, but overall, EG, they're falling apart. Sumail's gone. Universe just has to TP out of there. RTZ trying to man up against SCCC, but he blinks away. NewBee just chase him down. Glimmer Cape is on him again. Crit will save him, but Crit pays with his life. And again, NewBee.
This is huge for NewBee now. They can actually go high ground. There's no black hole now. The only threat is Epicenter.
No buybacks either on the 2 that are down. Will pop the Aegis there on the side. Zai trying to slow them down with the Burrow Strike. But I don't think NewBee will have any plans of backing up. They're going to stand their ground, push in onto the tier 3s here.
This could be
now. They just jump in with the Abyssal. The Boulder Smash comes through onto 2. NewBee, they're doing it here. They found nearly RTZ as well. No, the cheese comes out. RTZ will survive. Buyback forced out though from Zai. NewBee still clean up the melee racks in the middle lane. And NewBee, they played this game very patiently, and ever since that bit of a blunder from EG in the middle lane, NewBee getting the momentum back behind them now with the 2k gold lead themselves, and they're not done. They're moving down to the bottom lane. They really want to abuse this time. How long till Black Hole fall?
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
They got Shadow Shaman too. This is
going to be a second set of racks for NewBee here. No holding back. They are not leaving this base. Universe, 17 seconds to the black hole. Can they keep holding track? They can't. The melee racks are gone. They make the jump in onto KP. Can they actually get this kill? The Midnight Pulse is down. They do have the Reaper Sight. They'll bring down the Bristle. But 2 melee racks gone. NewBee, they've done their work. They're going to be all smiles at the moment, and Evil Geniuses are going to feel incredibly shaken up.
Incredibly impressive there, the way that they played around it. Universe unable to get the perfect black holes there, and NewBee just punishes it so heavily. It just shows, though, too, how much EG does rely on getting those black holes. So if they can put Universe in like a frantic position to be forced to use that, this is where they could shine.
And he comes in, and even though despite how close Kakra is only getting Faith, it was exactly what you said as well. He does it on top of
himself.
To make sure
he saw the
no
Abyssal.
cancel.
Yeah, he's making sure that it doesn't get canceled off.
But it meant that it wasn't good enough. And NewBee, yeah, look at that. Esther, he loves it.
A little bit of a victory dance.
He absolutely loves it.
That's got to feel good.
It absolutely has. In a game as well, 42 minutes again, only 19 to 12. But as we saw, ever since sort of the 10-minute mark, EG the ones to put their foot down. But bam, now NewBee taking down 2 melee racks in a fantastic position. I mean, EG, of course, they still have this incredible push. They take one fight, they get one big black hole. They can do the same that NewBee achieved to them. They can clean up 2 racks in a matter of a minute. But they need to find that fight, and at the moment, NewBee are not letting them get it.
EG wants to be the ones making the jump happen now. The last 2 times, it's been NewBee kind of like baiting / positioning EG into responding. Now EG wants to be the ones to be dictating it rather than that responsive, because that's where mistakes happen. When you're forced to just react to people, you're just like in that frantic instinct kind of thing, and you jump, and that's where the mistakes.
And RTZ as well with his build, I think he realizes, they've got to just rely on getting one fight and pushing. He's looking to pick up the Desolator. Yeah. Just everything that they can get together to make sure that that one fight they win, that's when they close the game up.
He's all their physical damage too. Everyone else is magical on the side of EG, so he knows his job. He knows what he needs to be doing in this game.
We did see, of course, in that last fight, you know, Arteezy is still incredibly scary for NewBee. They have to keep their distance. But once his sort of backlines fall down around him, he doesn't have the control to hold someone like SCCC in place. We saw, you know, last fight, the Queen of Pain being one hit away from being taken down, but the Blink...
NewBee's got their lanes in
good
positions.
And there's the jump, look for the free pick off to start things off. Crit, can he get out? He cannot. Or maybe he can. Wait with the Glimmer Cape. No, SCCC waiting on the high ground. Will bring him down. 50 seconds. Crit does have buyback available. And EG, of course, will be doing everything to make sure they're not mega creeped. They do have that top lane fairly pushed out. Tier 2 still standing.
Yeah. SCCC already. He's like, yeah, we need to force this top lane, actually. It's really important for them to do that. 30 seconds till Crit respawns. We have... Universe is about...
He's close.
He's like 1,300 gold away from the refresher, so they will have that the threat of the double black hole, but it's still about landing it. And if NewBee still, I think that's the best way for them to take these fights is to run in and force EG's hand, rather than EG just taking the pick when they want to and playing around their vision. Right now, it's very limited, actually, for EG. It's pretty much just those wolves walking around and that one ward that they did place just before during that push. So with those two side lanes always pushing in, and NewBee always has a lot of information on the map and allows himself to accrue a bigger and bigger advantage during this downtime.
And you can see EG with the smoke. They were hoping that NewBee would come in for that tier 2 push, but NewBee, they're smarter than that. They're not going to just throw themselves in. I mean, now they'll come forward. Sumail has revealed. They keep KP on the front lines.
SCCC is a big threat now, too. 6 slotted, well, he can still replace the Veil, but with the Mjolnir finished up and the level 25 60% lifesteal talent, that can be another factor they have to add in.
But he's massive. Yeah. He really is. 24,000 net worth, 45 minutes in. I said at the start I was excited to see this. This is something we've seen in the past. SCCC, definitely one of his flashiest and finest heroes, the Queen of Pain, and this game looking to be no exception.
This is the perfect time for NewBee to start pressuring like this. It's the double catapult wave, the first one of the game. The starts coming out. You see the two side lanes being heavily forced in, and top lane will meet there with the double catapult as well. They can start to set up that siege.
What do EG do? They are holding close to them dearly, this tier 2 tower. NewBee being so safe with the way that they slowly siege this top lane.
SCCC's not even with his team right now. He's farming jungle. He's trying to get as much as he can during that downtime. Should be able to claim the tier 2 here. Maybe they don't expect EG to commit super hard on the defense, but EG is. And now SCCC starts to make his movement back over.
The wards do get farmed up very quickly there by EG.
The side lanes, though, that's the issue. The catapults start hitting on the shrines in the mid lane, so Shrine is almost actually brought down. At about 150 life, and the bottom wave.
Oh, they've actually found him here. They jump in, they find him in the trees. They have the shackle onto Zai. Arteezy pops the BKB, now make the leap onto favor SCCC. Comes on the back line, Universe will hold him in place with the BKB black hole. Have they got the damage to finish off? Yes, they have. Zai comes in with the AP. Hey, Evil Genius, they found 2. Can they get KP as well? Sumail has to keep his distance. They've lost Arteezy. Arteezy does not have buyback. Mugi manning up with the BKB, looks towards Zai, will get the kill, gets the heal, keeps himself alive. KP moving in onto Sumail, Reaper side, not enough to bring down the Bristle. The mana, oh my god, the tower hits, is it enough? KP will finally go down. Universe does it there with the Midnight Pulse. EG have lost 3, but at the same time bringing down 3 members of NewBee themselves.
But EG's base, it's getting destroyed by these creeps and catapults.
And as we can see there, gold does slightly favor EG. You know, because of the fact that they were behind. Being able to kill SCCC on the Queen of Pain is amazing, but Mugi, he escapes alive. Arteezy loses his life again. And as you say, the pressure still certainly on for EG. So whereas they may have been able to slow down NewBee's advance onto the base, unlikely that anything's going to happen whilst these NewBee heroes are down because of their own casualties.
The big thing for EG there now is that Universe will have refresher for the next upcoming engagements.
I mean, look at this here. We're going to be able to get a shot at Universe's perspective. Comes in, looks to the side, realizes, bam, he can commit onto this Queen of Pain.
He's still always, you see how he's using the black hole every time. He places it right on top of stuff just to make sure that that Bristleback can't blink and get the Abyssal Blade off. Very important to note those things.
Still, as we say, NewBee still with the lead.
Roche is back. It's third Roche, another Aegis and Cheese. And since we are past that 40-minute mark for quite a bit now, we do have the double runes that will be playing into favor. And oh look, a DD right outside the pit.
Perfect timing here. NewBee, they are going to have everyone back up. Same to be said for Evil Geniuses, but NewBee already closer to the pit. And EG having to deal with these lanes, being pushed in by the super creeps. There's Very little chance that EG can contest this Roshan, and this should be a free Aegis and a cheese into the pockets of NewBee. They'll make a scan. EG starting to move a couple over, but it's not going to be anywhere.
The cheese is still on the ground. Oh, they actually pick it up. RTZ almost got the
It looked like he was going to be able to deny it.
Yep. SCCC actually picked it up. It looked like he was leaving it for somebody else, but after they didn't grab it right away, he's like, no. Now he passes it over to Mugi.
They need one more of those black hole holds. And this is the thing, as we've seen. Universe, he needs to catch the cores.
Yeah.
And when he does it, it's because of the placement that he has to go for. It's so hard for him to get anything more than just that. But taking down one core can certainly put a hold to the push that NewBee try and bring on.
And it's thankful this time that they have the